Week number 4 comes to a close, and now we stare week 5 waiver wire content right in the eyes. And I'm here to deliver the best waiver wire content I can provide you. And we're doing it live here right after the Monday Night Football game. So buckle up. We'll talk not only week 5 waiver wire content, we'll go over the Monday night game, talk about Kenneth Walker scoring a touchdown, having a pretty nice day. Could have been a lot better. There was that touchdown callback, that controversial did the cheeks hit the turf touchdown run. We're breaking all that down and more, doing your super chats and trade questions. The Fantasy Football Show Week 5 Waiver Wire Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
And we had a pretty mediocre day on Monday night here. We had some scoring production from Kenneth Walker, punched in a touchdown, but it was definitely one of those games where you wish there was more going on. You know, even DK Metcalf scoring a touchdown, but not having quite as big of a day yardage-wise. Now, nobody expected anybody on the Giants side of the football to really do much in this one anyway. So it really was, coming from the Seattle Seahawks side that we would either be excited or disappointed in. Geno having the one touchdown, got hurt, came back into the game after Drew Lock filled in for a little bit and threw a what we thought was a touchdown strike to Noah Fant. But then it was ruled down at the 1. Kenneth Walker comes in, punches in a touchdown. Kenneth Walker breaks away a nice little 31-yard run after that. But at the beginning of the game, Kenneth Walker had a touchdown, I believe. I mean, maybe I didn't see all the angles, but I was also live and excited and getting all amped up about it. But he rolled onto a player and then rolled off. No one blew the whistle. He stopped running. He started running. He stopped running. He started running again, went into the end zone. They ruled it a touchdown. Then they reviewed it and said that there was a little cheek action hitting the grass, or someone said elbow. I felt like it was hard to overturn that, but maybe I missed an angle. But anyway, could have been a much bigger day. That would have been 100 and something and 2 touchdown day out of Kenneth Walker. They show his elbow is, I don't know. I honestly think he's on top of his arm. I don't think his cheeks hit the grass. I'm a little disappointed about that one. That's kind of the bad luck. His elbow touched the ground. I'm looking at the replays. I don't know that it necessarily does. I think you see the ground and the elbow get to the point where there's no more light in between, but you can't prove that there was contact made. You can't see any kind of like indention of the arm or something like that. So I think it's a debatable thing. Yeah, we called it cheek gate, his butt cheek gate. So cheek gate will go down as one of those things we talk about for a while, I guess. But I disagree. I don't think, from what I can tell, and I'm looking at all the angles, I think everybody's just assuming that it touched. Just because you can't see that there's no more light in between. It was like a grazing of the butt cheek on the grass. It was a grazing of the elbow on the grass, maybe, but you can't prove it. And it was ruled a touchdown. And by rule, if you don't have indisputable evidence, you can't overturn it. So it was a little disappointing to me to see it go down like that, to be honest with you. I felt like he should have had it. That would have been 120 yards at least or something like that, and a touchdown. That would have been a much bigger day for Kenneth Walker. So anyway, neither here nor there. We hit the higher low that we pegged for this game to be the pick of the week. On the Pick'em for Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty, where Underdog will double your first deposit up to $500 by using code Smitty. And if you hit this link that I'm going to drop in the live chat right this very second, you guys can deposit $10. They'll double $10. That's the minimum. You put in $500 until October. Let me see if I can paste this in here. Until October, I think 4th. So we have less than a day and a half to use this promo code Smitty and get double up to $500 in your first deposit. Let me see if I can paste this in here. Why is this not pasting? I'm copying it. I'm trying to paste it. Play Underdog Fantasy. There we go. Entered it in. What is going on with my keyboard? I don't know. Let me see if I can paste it in over here. Stupid thing. All right, let me pull it up here. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Here's the link right now. I'm going to pin it after I post it, and then we're going to get into the waiver wire show, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Pin it. Double your deposit up to 500 bones. Let's get into the waiver wire. Okay? Now, Jaleel McLaughlin is probably the top waiver wire running back ad walking into week number 5. Javonte has the hip flexor. I don't know that he's going to necessarily miss time or significant time or even a game, but he'll probably be limited. And the fact that McLaughlin looked really good makes me think that they're going to maybe lean on him and give him a shot at some point, or at least roll with the hot hand. So I feel like he's probably the best running back grab in week 5. I don't know if I feel like he's worth the drop of the top waiver wire spot if you're holding it, but then again, what's going to be there in week 6? What's going to be there in week 7? So maybe you take the chance. If for any reason you need a quarterback and Stroud is out there, and Stroud is available in 50% of leagues still. He's only rostered in 50% of leagues, so I don't want to hear the Caleb in the chat right here going, Smitty, Stroud's not available in leagues. Come on. Yeah, he is. I'm looking at the data. He's available in over 50% of leagues right now. That's crazy. And if you wanted to take a rogue approach and try and repair a damaged team that you have, or a team that's busting or whatever, trade away your quarterback and roll with Stroud. It's a bold move. It's a rogue move. It's a cowboy move. We'll call you a cowboy. Maybe we call it the cowboy move. I don't know. You start Stroud, trade away your quarterback to a QB needy team, and go get a Waddle or Devonta Smith on the cheap, or a Ridley on the cheap, or whatever the case may be, an Aaron Jones on the cheap. Go trade away your signal caller. If you can't win, even with a top 5 quarterback, if you can't win, why not go cowboy? Cowboy up. Start CJ Stroud and pick him up off waivers. Either way, pick him up off waivers, because you can get a boatload in trade. And you can maybe trade for that Charbonnet handcuff you've been wanting to get all offseason long, because you screwed up and didn't cuff Walker and Charbonnet. And the owner of Charbonnet has no quarterback, and you can trade him Stroud. Figure it out. Go grab him. Worry about it later. Stroud should not be on waivers any longer. He's playing fantastic, and I definitely think you should own him. Drop Love for Stroud? No. Hold both of them, bro. Love has... I don't know if you know this. Who is this, DJ? But Love is on pace to score 42 total touchdowns. Okay, we're not dropping Love. Love is playing fantastic, despite what everybody's telling you that Love's doing. Love is on pace for 42 plus total touchdowns. And I think dropping him would be a huge mistake. Now, leaving Stroud out there would also be a huge mistake. Stafford's playing well enough to pick him up. Howell's playing, well enough to pick him up. Komet is an absolute monster. We had a lot of Komet questions last week. Some of them were, hey, play Komet. Definitely play him. Those worked out really well. Some people had questions of, do I pick up so-and-so? Komet's my backup, and I want to go secure this RB that's out there on waivers. I need an RB. Do I drop Komet? There were a lot of different Komet questions last week, and in some cases, every answer was a little different. But the one story we've been telling here on the channel from the very, very beginning of the offseason was that there are 3 quarterbacks that could potentially be giving birth to 3 tight ends that are giving birth to one top 5 tight end. Like every season, a tight end outside of the top 10 gets into the top 5. And that happens almost every single year. Somebody ranked outside the top 10 tight ends slips into the top 5 tight end rankings by the end of the year. And this guy right here, Cole Kmet, was one of my top 3 to do that. Cole Kmet, Dalton Kincaid, and the man we call the bust. Don't even look at him and drop him from your team, Okonkwo, who I agree is a complete, as of this moment at least, a complete bust. Could he come around? Maybe. But I think Kincaid will be what we hope he's going to be. We knew we could take some time. I've cautioned patience the entire time that we're heading through weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because I know a lot of, we'll wait on them, Smitty. People would lose patience and in week 2, 3, 4 start releasing them. And I get it. If you have small benches, you can't hang on to them yet. You have to kind of wait and see. Chikakonkwo will be good someday. He just needs a quarterback, that's for sure. But Kincaid just needs time too. A lot of people are going to say he's a bust. I see Hammer says Kincaid's a bust. That's par for the course because he's not ready yet. And he's starting to get targets. He looks like he's maybe going to take a little longer than even I thought. But at some point, maybe week 8, 9, 10, he could start doing some special things. But we'll have to wait and see. Right now, Kmet is the other one. So Kmet, Kincaid, and Okonkwo. Okonkwo feels bust-worthy. And again, these are all 3 identified tight ends outside of the top 10. They're not going to be 100%. And I even said in my tight end video, breakout video, my 3 sleeper tight end video, that one of them probably will be this. Not all 3 of them. It's going to take a miracle for all 3 or even 2 to become top 5 tight ends outside of the top 10 consensus. But Kmet's looking like he could be that special grab. And all we needed to wait on was Fields to bounce back, because how can Kmet do well? How can DJ Moore do well? 2 very underrated assets on the Chicago Bear roster. How could they do well fantasy-wise or NFL-wise without Fields doing well? So they were beholden to Fields bouncing back. So Kmet is a fantastic go-get player in 2023 week 5. And Jamison Williams and Mike Williams are probably Michael Wilson are probably the 2 top wide receivers to go get. Jamison's very intriguing. One of the best wide receivers from his wide receiver class, but he had the torn ACL, so he's kind of been, very, very disappointing in that he hasn't been able to play. Then he got suspended, and he played 6 games last year, but only caught 1 pass for a touchdown. And so a lot of people think he hasn't played a lot, but he did play 6 games. And then he gets suspended, and then he injures I think it was his hamstring, right? He's back. He was suspended, but they reduced his suspension when the NFL reviewed the gambling policies last week. And so Jamison is eligible to come back and return to football this week. I think people might be, we're either going to be, I think, surprised that he does very well or surprised that he does nothing. I don't know that we're going to see much in between. It feels like one of those situations, but I don't know that he feels like anything at this point. I think we're all kind of guessing. No one really knows. We're hopeful that he ends up being very talented. We're hoping it doesn't take away from any opportunity that Gibbs might even have, if he has any at all right now, or take away from St. Brown, or whatever the case may be, Laporta. But I think Jamison is definitely worth grabbing and holding. I just don't know that I could call him the best pickup of the year yet, but he's certainly intriguing enough and talented enough. His acceleration's through the roof. You need to grab him and at least hold him, just in case this thing ends up being, something remarkable. Like, this guy's remarkable. He looked okay last year, but he was coming back from the ACL. He's better this year. He looks fantastic. Like, it could easily go that way. So grab him and stash him. Michael Wilson is a guy we talked about all offseason long, especially in best balls when we're drafting at the tail end and you need something different. Michael Wilson, very talented wide receiver. One of those guys that if the Cardinals end up not getting Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr., which something Vegas predicted would be likely, because Vegas earlier in the offseason said that the Cardinals were the highest ranked team or projected team to get the number 1 and number 2 overall pick, because they have the Houston Texans pick, and they have their own pick. And the Texans are looking not like they're not going to get the number 1 overall pick. The Cardinals are looking like they're not going to get the number 1 overall pick. So we're looking at a team that might be rolling with Kyler again in 2024, and they might need their number 1 wide receiver to be Michael Wilson. And I think Michael Wilson has the ability to potentially do that. I am going to get to the Super Chats, but I'm doing real quickly like we always do, the monologue part, and then the Super Chats are in order in which they're received, so it's definitely good to get them in early so you have it ready to go. But I definitely get to the Super Chats, so hang tight, pal. It's just like every other show. So Boyd is a guy you want to grab as well. Downs is a potential player that's going to get more and more volume. But Boyd, with Higgins injured, this is a decent pickup. Charlie Jones would have been the guy we would have been touting right now, but he's on IR, out 3 more games. So Michael Wilson and Jameson kind of stand alone in my mind as the top 2 pickups of no problem, H. The top 2 pickups of the week for wide receivers. McLaughlin, the number 1 running back. I think Keaton Mitchell is available in 80% of leagues, and this might be eventually the starting running back for the Ravens. So keep an eye on him. Grab him if you need an RB. McLaughlin, again, number 1, though. Jaylen Warren's time is coming, I still believe. He should be grabbed. Spears is getting a lot of work right now. Even with Derrick Henry having kind of a pop-off game, which I strongly advise people sell him off that pop-off game. Spears is getting work nearly 50% or more in the passing down scenarios, and he just looks explosive, and he'd be a good grab and stash right now. Khalil Herbert bounced back. It was looking like maybe Roschon was going to get more and more work as they started to use him at the tail end of games at 2-minute drills, and just when the game counted and the game was a little bit more important and further along, they leaned to Roschon, and now Herbert bounces back and has a phenomenal little outing in week number 4. So he probably got cut in a lot of cases, so you might want to swoop back in and pick him up. But Roschon and Herbert are great cuffs, and you probably will find both of them available. If, let's say, Khalil's out there, Roschon's probably out there. And if Khalil's out there and Roschon's not, Roschon might get cut. So pick up Herbert if you need an RB bad, and watch for Roschon to get released. I still believe in Roschon. I still think Roschon has a lot of talent, and this could be one of those things. Keep in mind that, as much as you want to panic and act like week number 4 is a tell-all about everything that's going to happen, keep in mind how Achane looked when he was a healthy scratch in week 1. And people are like, well, guess he's not high in the totem pole. Keep that in mind, because a player like Spears, a player like Roschon, a player like Bigsby, a player like Charbonnet, knock on wood, who they definitely like to use. At any moment, these guys could go out there, week 7, week 8, and become the starter and blow up the rest of the season. Just keep Achane in mind and how he was nothing to everybody after week 1. He was getting cut, and that's why we had him on the waiver wire show preemptive week 1, and then post week 1, and post week 2, and post week 3, talking about Achane every step of the way. Don't cut him. Hold him and stash him. Now, to be fair, I said the same thing about Roschon. Hold him, don't cut him. And I still believe that about Roschon if you can make it happen. But everybody needs to understand that this isn't a be-all, tell-all. Everything looks as it is for the rest of the season right here, right now. And if you're not using your Roschon, you're done. He could definitely rise up. So there you go. These are the waiver wire pickups for week number 4. McLaughlin, the top running back. Mitchell, Warren, Spears, Khalil, Roschon. Bigsby still great to grab. This one right here, Chase Brown. Everybody needs to keep an eye on Chase Brown. Mixon is older, guys. Mixon's older. He doesn't look like he's the same player anymore. We noticed this last year, and the Bengals are in trouble. And so even if Brown came in, let's say Mixon, they lean on Mixon and they injure him because they're not getting the right defensive, play calls. They're getting stacked boxes. Mixon doesn't have normal room to navigate and run. He's getting hit a lot harder. You might want to pick up this Chase Brown character in case something ends up unfolding there. Let's see. Ronnie Rivers is the backup to Kyron Williams, and they seem to use him when they want to spell Kyron. So if Kyron went down, Ron Rivers would be the guy you want. Go pick up Ronnie. Bigsby still a injury away from being a top 12 running back. And I want to stop and pause on this for a second and really hammer home this point too, because just like I said, think about Achane coming out of week 1. Oh, he's nothing. They put him on a healthy scratch list. He must be garbage, Smitty. They don't have any plans to use him. Why would they do that? If they really liked him, why would he be a healthy scratch in week 1? Bigsby is an injury away, knock on wood, an injury away from being a top 12 running back in fantasy football. If you're crying over spilled milk or players that aren't doing well on your roster right now and you want to just quit, then you might want to take a look at this guy Bigsby, stash him, wait, and figure out if that's something that's going to help you win later on. Let's see here. Buy lows are wild this week. I don't know that they're wild this week, bro. Okay. Debo, Ayuk over Debo. Mike, the Ayuk-Debo debate's going to go up and down all year. Because last week it was, Debo's better than Ayuk. This week, Ayuk's better than Debo. You're going to have people going back and forth on that one over and over. If Charbonnet's available, because a lot of people... Look, Charbonnet's available in more leagues than you might think. And you might not even notice that he got dropped. Because Charbonnet, people couldn't wait on him. People were sitting there last week saying, I got to pick up Zach Moss. I got to pick up Laporta. He's still somehow available. I got to pick up this guy, that guy, whatever. Jordan Love was still out there last week. It's crazy. And people had to make room. They had to drop somebody good. Let's see here. Dropped Charbonnet, sad face. I dropped Charbonnet. See here, I'm just giving an example of somebody that dropped Charbonnet. In our own chat, I dropped Charbonnet, sad face. You have to make sure you go check your wire to see if he's there. If anything happened to Kenneth Walker, he would be a top 12 running back. If anything happens to ETN, Bigsby will be a top. Let me make this very clear so that when we reflect back on this moment, we aren't saying, oh, Smitty didn't tell us. Here he is pretending he said these things. And I don't remember him ever saying this. Let's make it big and bold here. Okay? Spears too. Spears is a nice grab. We'll put Spears right here. Who has one ACL? It bothered me in the offseason, but I'll tell you what, he looks fantastic right now. These guys right here. And there's more. There's still Roshan and Mitchell and all that and Warren. There's still a lot of guys, but I just want to make it plainly as clear and as plain as I can make it. Bigsby is a top 12 running back, maybe top 8 to 12 running back if injury strikes ETN, knock on wood. He's going to be a monster if they lean on him. Charbonnet will be a monster and a top 12 running back, maybe top 8 to 12 running back if anything should happen, knock on wood, to our boy Kenneth Walker, who's an absolute monster right now. Kenneth Walker should have had 2 touchdowns in this game. I will argue till the end of time that his butt cheek nor his elbow could be proven to have hit the turf. You can say you think it did because it went like this. Is it going to hit this line right here, this white line below it? Is my elbow going to hit this white line? You don't know if my elbow is hitting that white line. You don't know. Just because there's no light left doesn't mean it's touching the line. There's no evidence to suggest that his butt cheek or his elbow hit the grass, the blades of grass. Bigsby, Charbonnet, don't sleep on him. That's all I'm going to tell you. Make sure they're on your roster. Let me put them back in their appropriate place. And you know what? Let's put them higher on this list. To be honest, let's put Spears. We'll put Spears around here. We'll put Warren. We'll drop Warren. We'll drop Mitchell. And let's make it a true point of emphasis right here. Bigsby, Charbonnet, Spears, Mitchell, Warren, Roshan, Herbert. We'll put it in an order similar to that. Because that's really how I feel. Even though the usefulness of maybe Mitchell and Warren and Herbert are more so on the forefront right now, which is why you kind of rank them higher on a ranking list. But at the end of the day, it's all about what's going to win me a league. And if I'm ranking the waiver wire projections here, the rankings in a win a league sense, it probably would be Bigsby and Charbonnet above McLaughlin. But McLaughlin does have a lot of usefulness right now, so I'm gonna leave it like this. But this is the waiver wire video for week number 5. Learn about it. Now we go to the super chats. Appreciate everybody that's been waiting. Racing Boy dropping a $4.99 hauler, 4-0. Let's go. First super chat of the evening gets a standing O. Racing Boy, appreciate you very much, my main man. We got a $20 hauler from David. All $20 haulers get immediate assistance My boy David, appreciate you. Ridley and Gibbs for Achane. No. I don't think I can do that's a lot. You should be trading Gibbs and something else for Achane if you want to make that move. Throwing Ridley in as if Ridley didn't just score a touchdown, as if Ridley still isn't a top 10 wide receiver. I don't understand why everybody's running away from Ridley, especially after he scores a touchdown. And honestly, he should have 3 or 4 more touchdowns this year. He dropped a couple. He was overthrown on one. I get that's all part of it, right? You're disappointed he's dropping things, but I don't know how Ridley's being so discarded. But I do love Achane. I still go after Achane. I still think you need to make a move for Achane, but this isn't the move to make. Throwing in a Dotson who scored a touchdown. Throwing in a Tank Dell who would have been perfect to throw in last week. I mean, I'd maybe explore Watson and Gibbs, that type of thing. But I don't want you giving away your entire roster to the point where you don't have an achane to even, just because you get a home run hitter, you don't have an ability to do anything around that player. And I think, Achane is definitely a must get, but just be a little bit careful not to go get something else back. Make it a 2 for 2. If you maybe give yourself something in return that's doubted that we like, then I don't know. Really isn't getting any kinds of volume, bro. He is, Troy. He was put in a box all game long, Troy. He was put in a box all game long. Concerned about Olave. Olave's been going nuts all year long. He had a bad week last week. And I wouldn't be worried about Olave. I would just say that he didn't have, with an injured Carr, they didn't throw the football enough. And they didn't throw the football downfield. That's why Kamara had like 40 yards on like 10 receptions or whatever the hell it was. So, 3 trades I was offered. Number 1, Burrow for my CJ Stroud. Number 2, ETN and Pittman for my JT. I'd rather have JT. And I'm not saying I don't want Stroud over Burrow, because I technically do. I just feel like maybe you can get more. If you can't get more, I understand it. And I understand why you need to make this move. And I can Smitty approve Stroud over Burrow at this moment, because Burrow's hurt. It's not about like Burrow of old or Burrow of the future. I don't think Burrow's going to fall off the face of the earth, guys. But this year, he's injured. This year, he's not healthy. Could he bounce back this year? He could. Is Stroud playing well enough that you got to make the move? I understand it. But you can't. I would try and get more. I don't like the deal. I don't hate the deal, but I don't like the deal. I think maybe you try and get a little bit more. I think you could. I bought Ridley for Dell and Spears. That's a great buy low. Anybody that doesn't think that Ridley's going to be good it's just weird. It's weird. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the people that missed out on Ridley and they're just so grateful he isn't doing what everybody else said he was going to do by now, so they're just kind of like relishing in it and trying to will it to continue. I don't know what it is. Are we nervous for Amon-Ra when JMO returns? Trade in Dynasty. I mean, a little bit concerned, like to a small degree, but I'm going to buy on that fear too as well, though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. St. Brown's a dog. He's a dog, and Jameson Williams is disappointed more than once and has taken so long to get where he is. Would it shock anybody if something else came up, whether it be injury or some other issue or whatever the hell it is, or just busting? 8 leagues, went 5-3 this week. Text you. Appreciate you, DeBalt. Appreciate you, my man. 5-3 is not bad at all. I'm not saying don't pick up Jameson. I really do like Jameson. I'm just saying I'm not afraid of Amon-Ra vanishing. Most teams have multiple pass catching options. You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't scare me. Is now the time to sell Dallas defense and try and get value? It depends if you're winning with them, TJ. If you're not winning with the Dallas D and you need to make a move to even do anything at all, then selling high on anybody's wise. If you can't win with what you have and pieces of your team are popping off, you got to eventually try and make a move. But do I sell the Dallas D if you're even like 2-2? Maybe not. It depends what it is, though. I'll sell anybody at the right price. Half PPR was offered Evan Ingram and Amari Cooper for my Mark Andrews. I probably would take that, I suppose, if you needed the wide receiver help. If you're winning and you're looking strong, there's no reason to divide up a bigger, better player, which Mark Andrews probably is. But Ingram's playing fairly well. And I think because Amari Cooper has been lights out other than, this past week, you might want to consider taking that trade if you need 2 players. Or should I do JT and Ridley for Achane? No. David, you're giving up way too much in these trades. I love Achane, bro. I love him. I would want you to trade for him in a millisecond. But you're giving up 2 potential, 1 top 5 to 10 running back in JT. And maybe Achane's top 5 to 10 as well. That's the hope. There's some uncertainty around it, but we certainly believe he's capable of it. We've talked him up the entire season and leading into the season, Achane being that kind of league winner. But you can't trade Ridley and JT for Achane. You are getting blasted to pieces in that trade in terms of the fair market value of it. Even if somehow, some way it could work. $5 hauler. Appreciate you. Hurts, Achane, McKinnon, Chase, Ridley, Hawkinson, Lockett, Flowers, Christian Watson, Charbonnet, Stroud. 2-2 record after tonight. Whiteboard trades. I don't know what trades you could really do other than if you were to maybe trade Chase for, if we go back to these buy lists, bro. You're trading Chase and you're trying to go after one of these wide receivers. And then you're going to pair that wide receiver with an RB. So whether it's a free haul using a Lamb and haul for Chase, something to that degree. You go on the heavier running back side like Swift or ETN, you might have to go for a lesser wide receiver like Watson. You might even get away with Waddle or Debo right now. People are freaking out about those guys. So look at this list here and try and find the owners of these guys and try and find out if they've got some of these guys. Like an Achane and a Waddle, Achane and a Lamb, an Achane and a Devontae Smith, an Achane and a Debo for your Jamar Chase is where you're trying to get to with your trade. Appreciate your super chat. TM42 dropping a $2 hauler. Is Ramondre in the panic chamber? Absolutely. I mean, he was in the panic chamber last week. He broke the panic chamber. The panic chamber, he lives in the panic chamber. $20 hauler from Charles. My man Charles coming in with a 20 wad. David Klein coming in with a $20 hauler. David, my boy, let's go. This one's for both of you. On the left, I'll be throwing out dollar bills for David. On the right, I'm throwing them out for Charles.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Put you guys in the $20 hauler bunk bed situation. Both of you at the same time there. David, 1 QB full PPR Dynasty League. Should I trade Charbonnet for Eckler? If you can win, just get Eckler, bro. What are we doing? Yeah. David, if you can win dollar bills, you're going and getting Eckler, and you put him in your lineup, and you're maybe getting another half a year out of him if you're lucky, but just assume you aren't, but you're still winning the league. Smitty, would you stash 2 tight end to stream based on matchups, or drop one and grab one of the week 5 waiver wire pickups? I mean, bro, there's a whole list of waiver wire pickups. I'm not positive who you would grab. You just grab anybody. But am I starting 2 tight ends? Would you stash 2 tight ends to stream based on... Oh, stream tight ends. I think you meant start 2 tight ends. Okay. I mean, it really depends, man. I mean, Musgrave and Njoku, I don't know. Musgrave had the concussion, but he was a nice play last week, or he could have been. But having the concussion really hurt. As far as the waiver wire tight ends, I mean, if we pull them up right here, if all 3 of these guys are available, if that's what you mean, I'd rather Komet. I'd rather Komet over anybody on your roster. You know what I mean? As far as that's who I'm grabbing. I'm grabbing Komet. He's a top waiver wire guy over Musgrave, over Njoku. He was a guy that I thought could be in the top 5 tight ends by the end of the season. But, I mean, Fields started off so slow, I couldn't blame anybody for releasing him. We had a couple people saying, he's my backup tight end. I can't keep him. I got to pick up a kicker. I got to pick up a defense. And then some people had him, and it's like, start him. Start him. He should bounce back this week. Fields could bounce back this week, and he did. And therefore, DJ Moore would bounce back, and Cole Kmet would bounce back. But you definitely have to go after Kmet if he's available, Charles, for sure. Have Musgrave and Njoku. Who should I grab besides McLaughlin due to waiver order? I mean, you already heard my spiel, so I think you probably know by now. But when it comes to the win a league players, it's Bigsby, Charbonnet. If McLaughlin's there, you grab him. But Bigsby, Charbonnet, Spears, those are league-winning moves potentially. Michael Wilson's great at wide receiver, and Cole Kmet at tight end. The waiver wire is going to get thinned out every single week, Charles, every single week. So don't be afraid or bashful to go get one of the Bigsby or even Khalil Herbert's a tempting player. But Bigsby and Charbonnet, if they're available, you need to grab them and hold them because they're league winning, Charles. They're league winning, and I don't know what's going to be available in week 6, 7, 8, 9. It very well could just get thinner and thinner and thinner. Charles, if I didn't answer that right, follow up with me. But I don't necessarily stream defenses because you're never going to stream it right with the options that are available to try and pick up and stream with. I'd rather just grab Kmet. If Kmet's there, grab him and start him. Musgrave's pretty good. I don't know about Njoku. What did he even do? What's he been doing lately? I don't even have off the top of my head Njoku's stats. So let me pull it up and see what it's looking like. Njoku. I mean, I know he has no touchdowns, but man, I mean, he had 7 targets last week. That's a lot. He pulled in 6 receptions for 46. That was a good day. But I still like Kmet better than that. And Njoku's always injured, and he's only had 24 yards, 48 yards, 20 yards in the 3 prior games. I don't think you're crazy to take Luke Musgrave over him, but Kmet is the better guy out of the group. Appreciate your $20 hauler, my broski. This one's from G Money. G Money, what do you think about trading Chase straight up for Eckler? I'd do it in a millisecond. It's probably the best solution to a Jamar Chase situation right now, if you can pull that off. Or JT straight up. Just traded away Debo for Olave. I don't mind that. I like both of them, though. I'm not going to make you take a lap on either side of that. Like, if you would have done that on either side of it, I would have been fine with it. I think it's very arguable. I think Olave feels like the safer option, but then again, his quarterback situation, when it is in shambles, can take away his ability to get the football. And at least the Niners have a very comfortable QB situation in offense. So I don't know. Both of them are good plays. Both of them have low end wide receiver and especially high end wide receiver 2 production territory all season long. Do I trade my Ford for Ferguson to get Aaron Jones? Ford and Ferguson. If you like winning, Boone, I would trade Ford and Ferguson for Aaron Jones. Yes, I would definitely do that. That's a vetoable trade. People might veto that. Andrews, T. Higgins, Godwin for Ayuk, Waddle, Hall, and Watson. Andrews, T. Higgins, Godwin. So it's really just Andrews because T. Higgins is hurt, but he's playing like crap anyway. It's Waddle, Hall, Watson, Ayuk. Give me that Hall, Waddle, Ayuk, Watson side. Like, that's a smash. Just absolute smash. Great trade. You pull that off, you really, really worked them over. Big time. Can I get a got him for flipping Aiden O'Connell and a 3rd rounder for Stroud?
Got him.
That's definitely a got him moment there. Bros Pros, nice job. I like that. That's a nice move. He who collects, appreciate you. Need a QB, receive Lamar and Najee for Garrett Wilson, James Cook easily. And then flip Najee after. Definitely like that trade. He who collects, good trades. Nice job. Rock out, 2-2, averaging 139 points. Time to panic, 2 teams, 180. No. I mean, 2-2 is not panic time. I mean, people are looking at you going, you're 2-2, bro. I'm 0-4. I'm 1-3. Panic time, no way. Not at 2-2. You're obviously doing some things right, and keep the faith on some of the guys that might be slumping, but always keep an eye on the buy lows. Rock out. Appreciate your super chat. Keep an eye on these buy low guys. Go after them if you can. I put Purdy on here because if you need a really cheap quarterback 1 or Stroud, these guys are attainable from the owners that may have them and can't play them, and they're like, give me something for them, and you can figure out a way to benefit. Bijan, everyone's like off Bijan right now, even though he had a 140 or something total yards. Like, what are we doing? Touchdowns are going to come. There's going to be a 2 or 3 touchdown game coming really soon. I can smell it. Trade Gibbs and Gibbs for Aaron Jones and PPR. Of course, you take Aaron Jones and you run. Other running backs are Hall, Pierce, Gainwell. Asked earlier, didn't hear an answer. Smitty approved or take a lap. I did answer that one, I believe, already on this show. And yes, I take Aaron Jones and I run. And I literally just run. The veto police will be after you. You just keep running. Addison and Herbert for Ridley. I take Ridley in a millisecond. This is the disrespect going on about Ridley that I just can't believe, and I don't understand it, and I'm taking advantage of it. $10 hauler for laughing. 10-man half PPR, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex, Lamar, Henry, Achane, Ford, Warren, Spears, Roshan, Debo, Waddle, Olave, Gabe Davis, Pitts, Hunter Henry. Guy offered me Andrews for Debo. Should I do it? Derrick Henry, Achane, Debo, Waddle, Olave. I guess I would. I could go either way. Honestly, I mean, the fact that you have like Gabe Davis who's playing well, you throw him in. It's only 2 wide receivers in a flex anyway. I probably would do that. Then I try and trade Hunter Henry because the tight end market is so weak and bleak that you might be able to flip something into something else. Non-PPR, like upgrade Henry or something like that. Non-PPR, pick up Gabe Davis or Nico Collins. Probably Nico over Gabe, but I do like both of them. So if you miss out on one, pick up the other. Maybe do a 2 waiver wire request where you use the same drop player, and that way the second one won't go through if you end up getting Nico. Nico Collins is looking smooth. I got you, right? No, I wouldn't sell Amon-Ra for peanuts, but who straight across? What type of players? I mean, if we look at players that I would trade Amon-Ra for, if you just didn't believe in him for whatever reason, Lamb, Kupp and something, Ridley and something, Devontae Smith and maybe something, Olave and something, Watson and something significant, Kamara, Taylor, Achane maybe and something, Swift and something, Tua and something, Anthony Richardson. Tua is one of the best buy low QBs right now, even though he does come with that risk. I think he's a fantastic go get right now. People are going to discount him significantly because people are very fickle and they jump on and off players depending on how they do in 1 week. It's crazy. It's insane. I don't understand it, but we take advantage of it. Try to get JJ for Taylor. Adams, no or yes? You could. I could get behind either side of this. Look, Adams and Taylor's arguable against JJ. You know, because if Taylor comes back and is a top 5 to 10 running back, and Adams can play like a top 5 to 10 wide receiver, it's not crazy. But if you own JJ and your team was winning, I wouldn't make a move. I'd keep him. But if your team, let's say, isn't winning, and I'm giving both sides, all sides of this, then and you aren't winning, you've got JJ, I could imagine somebody making that trade. And if you have JT and you have the JT side and you're winning and you have depth and you want to go get JJ, then I understand that as well. But depth will matter. If you don't have a lot of other players that can step up, then trading 2 players away like that could hurt you, Adams and JT for JJ, and then you have no running backs. So it depends on your depth. $5 hauler, 14-team PPR, Superflex, Tua, Dak, Olave, London, Dell, Bijan, Najee, Hawkinson. What moves? I'm starting Tua. I'm holding Tua, Olave, London, Bijan, Najee. I'm trying to trade Najee. And I'd be tempted to use Hawkinson and pick up a tight end, especially if Cole Kmet's out there or something. And I'd be tempted to try and upgrade Najee. Now, I could even go as far as to say, give me Achane and something. Trade Najee for Achane straight up. I probably would do that. I know people would be scared to do that, but I probably would do that. It's a high-risk move, but I would do it. Hall and a Waddle for Najee. Hall and a Gibbs and Waddle. Debo and something small for Najee. Maybe Debo straight up, and then you go. I'd get Debo straight up. I'd go Devontae Smith straight up, Debo straight up, Ridley straight up, Olave straight up for Najee, and then try and solve the running back hole you might have created by trading Hawkinson for an RB. Hawkinson for Achane. like something like that. If you could get like Debo and Achane for Najee and Hawkinson, it'd be tempting. Now, don't trade Najee for just anything. I think he showed some signs of life last week, but he's definitely a concern. I just don't trust Najee to be there at the end of the day for you. I really think it's a good player to get out of. Have JJ, Sun, got Olave, Chase, great wide receivers. Garrett Wilson, Watson need to flip something for a top running back. Achane, try and use Chase to get Achane in something. Try and use Chase to get Aaron Jones in something. Try and use Garrett Wilson for Aaron Jones. Try and use Chase to get Devontae, Ridley, any one of those guys and something. And sometimes you can get a Hall or a Gibbs thrown into that type of deal. Go to the Hall and Gibbs owner and see if they've got one of those wide receivers so that Hall or Gibbs aren't risky for you. They're like an additive, a bonus. You know what I mean? You're replacing Chase with Devontae Smith. You're replacing Chase with Olave when you're getting that free running back that you get to throw right into the running back spot. Smitty knows football. We got 3,600 on the line. Smitty is a freaking space cadet. Thank you, Slayer. Appreciate you. 3-1, 3-1, 2-2. Nice job. Congrats on
to the moon.
What you're doing there. Good work, my guy. Slayer to the moon. Slayer's the best. Birdman in the building. I have Jeff Wilson coming back from IR. Should I drop him or Roshan since I have Achane? I appreciate the show, Smitty, and everything, brother. Appreciate you, Birdman. I would probably say, God, this is tough. If the chat wants to weigh in on this, I'm not extremely... I don't think Wilson's like special. I'd rather just take the chance on Roshan. I still think Roshan has the ability to be special. And even if it took till week 10, that happens, Just like Achane didn't do anything in week 1. He was a scratch. It could happen later. It doesn't have to happen now. What type of running back 2 can I trade Mark Andrews for? Aaron Jones is probably the best one right now. JT, throw in a little more. You go get Eckler, given he's out next week and people might freak out, but those are kind of the buy lows of the moment. Kamara still might be attainable because someone might be freaking out that it wasn't real efficient. He just got the PPR points. Kincaid or Musgrave rest of season. Probably Kincaid for me, but I know not everybody feels that way. And, Musgrave's nice though, but Kincaid is getting volume and he's getting used. He's just got to get, better high quality targets. Drop Downs for McLaughlin. Definitely. McLaughlin's the number. I mean, Downs is on the waiver wire order. He's down at the bottom of the wide receivers. McLaughlin's at the top of the RBs and maybe the number 1 pickup of the week. So that's easy. Shab, appreciate you. Traded Zach Moss for JT last week. That's insane. And you're the man. No, you're the man. That's insane, bro. You got him big time.
Got him.
Zach Moss for JT. Should I claim Stroud versus Atlanta if I have Herb on a bye? Absolutely. I have Russ versus the Jets on the bench. I'd rather have Stroud than Russ Wilson in that situation. I know Russ looks pretty decent, but decent's not the way that Stroud's looking. So I would definitely go Stroud. Appreciate you, Smitty, for the last question, but would you drop Dotson or Judy for Michael Wilson or Jameson Williams? I'd probably go get Jameson. Well, I like Michael Wilson more than Jameson Williams, maybe. Maybe I need to redo this. Maybe I need to say this is the order. Because quite honestly, Michael Wilson could be the number 1 in Arizona or is. And Jameson's trying to play second fiddle to St. Brown. I'm going to readjust my order there based on this question right here. So I would say Michael Wilson over Dotson or Judy maybe. And then I'd probably say Jameson Williams over Dotson maybe just to take a chance. But I still like that Dotson scored. I know he could be banged up right now. We'll have to look into that. But I definitely feel like I like the Michael Wilson player the best. And that question put me to the test and made me move the order. I'm 0-4, 12-team PPR. What moves? T-Lock, Kamara, Warren, St. Brown, Ridley, Komet, Lamb, Eagles. Bench is Hall, Khalil Herbert, Charbonnet, Dell, AR, Roshan. AR is your starter. I don't know why you don't have AR listed as your starter. He's your starter. He should have been your starter last week too. AR was a fantastic play, and he was the entire leading into the week. So get AR into your lineup, number 1. Number 2, You have good wide receivers. I know St. Brown and Ridley, you're worried about them, and Lamb, but don't be. Those are really good wide receivers. Kamara's coming back, and you've been without him. That's why you're probably 0-4. You've got Breece Hall in the wings waiting. Charbonnet, a home run hitter. Roschon, a home run hitter. And really Warren hopefully steps up a little bit. You're weak at RB2 for right now, but I still probably start Breece Hall, and I continue to roll with him. I wouldn't put Warren over Breece Hall. And I think Hall's got enough upside to pop one off, and I think they do start running him a little more. Rock out. You're live.
Yeah, I got a dilemma. I got 3 quarterbacks, and I don't think I should keep 3, but I got a Burrow, Love, and Purdy.
I mean, the problem is you don't know who's Burrow, Love, and Purdy. I mean, you can't cut Burrow. You can bench Burrow. But I don't think you can cut him. Not yet. And Purdy's like... Love's on pace for 42 total touchdowns. I don't understand how Love's even being brought up here. I'm not necessarily saying this toward you, Rock Out, but it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. 42 total touchdowns is what he's on pace for. How is he in a lot of people's drop conversations? I don't get it.
Yeah, and then also, what would you do for the trade? I got McLaurin and Dobbs. They coming off good weeks.
I mean, you try your best. You try your best to make a move, but like you can't go after A-Chain anymore. That's off the table. I mean, if I could get a Breece Hall using those wide receivers, I would do it. A Gibbs, I'd buy low on those guys. You know, if you're holding those guys anyway, go find a running back you're holding. Go find a running back sleeping giant.
Yeah, I need a running back for this week, actually, because Javonte got hurt.
Yep. McLaughlin's a good pickup. I just don't know. I'm not sure. I still think Bigsby and Charbonnet still feel like the biggest home run hitters, Spears, on this list. I like McLaughlin. He's still there. He's in the top 4 for sure. Now, I have him ranked 1 because he's most useful right now. But I still think there's some deeper home run hitters there.
Would you have him over Roschon? I know we expect more.
Well, I mean, I got the list right here. So yeah, Bigsby, Charbonnet, Spears, Keaton Mitchell, Warren, Herbert, Roschon. But like Roschon, I mean, could I see myself seeing Keaton Mitchell available and holding Roschon and being like, I still want to hold Roschon? Yeah. So like this order is volatile, but I mean, it really just comes down to opportunity. You know, like Warren could be that guy. You know, we don't know. It just comes down to opportunity.
Yeah, if I don't drop Purdy, the only 2 people I could drop is Roschon or JSN. Yeah,
I mean, you could drop JSN right now. It sucks, but you can. But monitor him. Keep tabs on him. Watch him. You know, stay on him like a hawk. Because the moment he does rise up, I just don't know that Seattle's going to throw the ball a lot. Like, it sucks. You know, JSN's in a horrible situation. It sucks.
Well, lucky for me, I got Walker on this team.
Yep. All right, Rock Out. Appreciate you, man.
All right. Appreciate
Later, pal. As for this question, Anthony, I mean, I don't know what else you could do. I mean, I'm not worried. Like I said, I'm not worried about those wide receivers. Those are really good wide receivers. The only thing I would be doing is you're starting AR. You maybe let T-Law pop off a bit. And I know everyone's going to say that's funny. He's not going to pop off. Look, I still believe T-Law is capable. Even if he isn't capable of being as good and consistent as we want, he is capable of having a huge game at some point, at which point you can maybe sell him to a QB-needy team. I think your team's 0-4 because you've been waiting on Kamara, and I think his time is coming. So Kamara is going to blow up, and you've got a lot of potential You just got to get AR5 in there. Like that, part of the reason why you're 0-4 is it looks like you started T-Law and not AR5. Some of it, Anthony, is in the lineup. Like, why do you have AR5 on your bench? I don't understand that. He's a top 5. He was a top 5 to 6 quarterback play this week. We were hopeful for T-Law, but he was a hopeful play. Like, that's probably why you lost that game, I imagine. If you put AR5 in there, you probably won that game. So it's not on your wide receivers. I wouldn't blame your wide receivers. Your wide receivers are pretty solid. But put AR5 in there and get Brees in there. You could put Warren in, I guess, but I don't know. We can get too excited about the Bears players versus Denver. We can get excited enough that we look at like Fields' play young, and Fields was accurate. He was throwing good footballs. It wasn't just broken tackles and bad tackling and stuff like that. He was 11 for 11 at one point, I think, with 3 touchdowns. He looked good, or at least 2 touchdowns and on his way to 3. Should I trade Hawkinson, Najee for Goddard and B-Rob? No. Nobody wants Najee at all. Yeah, but that's not, you don't just make that trade. Go after a wide receiver straight across. Do a cross position trade, something along those lines. I don't just get rid of Najee now versus let him have 110 yards and a touchdown or something like that, versus trying to make a move similar to some of these giveaway where you're just giving players away. Smitty, I'm now 0-4 in a 10-man PPR with Fields, Purdy, Bijan, Kamara, Gibbs, Achane, Debo, Watson, Addison, McLaurin, Dell, Jason, Waller, Purdy, Bijan, Kamara. Look, you just got Achane. He's been blowing up for you. Kamara just came back. You wait on Gibbs. You keep starting Bijan. You don't even question that. Purdy's finally doing smooth things, and Debo's fine. You're not going to bench Debo. You don't need to trade Debo. Watson just came back. Your team is coming together. I'm sitting on this, and I'm waiting on this. I'm not trying to overreact or move anybody, nor do you have anybody you could sell high anyway. So I would be doing you a disservice by telling you to not hold and wait, because you have a lot of guys that you need to be patient about. Would I trade Kenneth Walker and Puka for Stephon Diggs and Barkley? I would take Diggs and Barkley probably. Yeah. And then I flip Barkley. But the reason I like that is Barkley will be back. But I definitely flip Barkley. I just think, look, as much as I love Puka, and Puka's been doing amazing, Kupp is coming back, and Stafford's banged up already, and it's just something you got to be a little bit concerned about in terms of that Diggs value you could get right now. You can get that Diggs value right now, and Barkley's still a top 10 running back, especially in the running back climate right now. It's really bad. Like, to get a top 10 running back is hard in a trade. I think you could have a better time flipping Barkley, especially if he comes back and has a big week. But I still like Barkley. I don't love Barkley, I still like him. And obviously we love what Diggs is doing. So I think you gotta roll with the best player in the deal there. Drop love for Richardson. Richardson should not be on the waivers, pal. How are we leaving Richardson on the waivers last week? He's going to be scooped up. Unless you got $100 and no one else has $100 and it's a full fab drop, I don't think you're getting him. But that you have the number 1 waiver claim. Okay, good. Maybe he does. Number 1 waiver. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, of Fields and Love, I'm probably trading one of them. I think you could get on the phone right now, bro, or text somebody, or do a little tweeter, or maybe a Snapchat or two, and figure out a way to send Fields or Love to somebody right now for a player. It could be somebody you just kind of quietly like, go get a Christian Watson right now using Fields. Don't just cut one. I think you can get a deal done. But yes, you got to pick up Richardson ASAP, bro. Absolutely now. It's good you still have that waiver claim, though. Thank God. I got Pollard, Achane, Stevenson, Roshan, Mitchell on IR, McLaughlin, Bigsby, AJ, Dillon on waivers. Yeah, Bigsby. I'm grabbing Bigsby for the long term. McLaughlin's the better now pickup if you need the production now. But I like your RBs. I get rid of Stevenson. He's in the panic chamber. He lives in the panic chamber. But of these running backs, the long term one is Bigsby. So definitely say Bigsby is the one that I want to own out of anybody. $10 hauler here from Herb. Herb, appreciate your $10 hauler. Thank you so much, pal. 2 and 2. Would you do Mahomes, Hawkinson, London for Eckler and Devontae Smith? ready to run Fields and Kmet rest of season. It's a risk, but I think Eckler and Devontae Smith is worth it, especially if you feel confident. I would say go ahead and do that. Team 2 flex, 2 wide receivers, JJ Olave, Kamara, Swift, Kyron, Achane bench. I love that team. That one's a hold. That's a good team. Let it come together, bro. I mean, obviously listen to any offer that comes to the table, but let it come together. $10 hauler from Andrew.
To the moon.
Thank you so much, Andrew, for the $10 hauler. 12 team 1 PPR. Hurts, Chase, Dell, Bijan, Kyron, Mostert, Waller, benches, Flowers, Musgrave, Pickens, Love, Warren, Rice. Trade Love for Ayuk or Hurts for bigger player. I don't mind that Ayuk trade. That's a pretty good one. I don't know that I want to trade Hurts, to be honest, because you're not going to get fair market value for him because he struggled. But that Love for Ayuk is a fantastic trade. Just got offer Lamb and Ridley for Bijan. Depends on your running backs handed. I mean, that's fair. That's 2 very, very good players. And while I believe Bijan's touchdowns will come, you could argue that you're going to get more out of that until that happens. And when it does happen, maybe it's still close to even. It just depends on your wide receivers. If you're putting like a pretty solid wide receiver on the bench after this move, then it's not helping you in some ways. So it does depend on what you have. But it's an interesting trade. If it's redraft, if it's dynasty, hell no, I'm not trading Bijan. And if you have a lot of depth on your team, hell no, I'm not trading Bijan. So it just depends on what you got. And a $20 hauler from Ramos.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Ramos coming in strong with a $20 hauler. And this is the last super chat, and then I'll hit a couple phone calls here. Trade Jacobs for Puka or Olave. Yeah, I would. And honestly, I mean, Puka and Olave are pretty close right now. Again, I don't know what that looks like later, but I'm not giving up on Olave after 1 week when he was everybody's darling walking into week 4. Like, it's crazy. The knee-jerk reactions are absolutely crazy. Now people are off Swift. They're off Olave. They're off Olave. They're off everybody that had a bad week. Debo. Now it's Ayuk. When last week it was Debo. They're going to rotate a little bit. It's crazy. These overreactions are insane. Can I get Jacobs for Eckler 1-for-1? I would try. And I'd give up a little more. That's a better trade too, because you'll have Eckler bye week free. So that would be a fantastic move in my opinion. Go try that. Give up a little bit more if you need to, like Gabe Davis type stuff. That's what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, there was one more super chat. This is from Vin. Gibbs and T-Law or Love and Aaron Jones or Kamara. I'm gonna take Love and Aaron Jones or Love and Kamara. And honestly, I think those are both pretty even. I don't know which one I'd rather have. Travis, you're on the line. What can I do for you? You're live.
First, are you still starting Love over T-Law until we see something?
Yeah, because I mean, Love's averaging 42, or he's on pace for 42 total touchdowns.
Right.
Love is absolutely having a great year, and for some reason, he's getting crapped on left and right when he has a pace of 42 total touchdowns. It makes no sense to me whatsoever that we're just discarding this guy. I don't get it.
All right. And then in response to that, would you give up? Would you rather have Richardson than Love right now?
Oh yeah! Oh hell yeah! Richardson's top 5, man.
Okay, so
he's top 5 or 6 quarterback.
If I had to give up ETN and ETN, Love, and something else to get into like A-Rich and Swift, you'd do that, right?
Yeah. Because Swift and ETN are pretty darn close and arguable anyway.
Pretty comparable. Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I like Love, but if I can, get to an A-Rich or something, I'm trying to do that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
just want to run
in the Marsman League, I traded Puka Nacua for Anthony Richardson straight up, which it's great for both of us, but I had to do it because I had Burrow, and I had to get out of that situation, which I did, and I turned that into a glorious trade. I traded. This is before kickoff. Now, granted, Tyreek Hill didn't do anything, but in the Marsman League, I traded, and I thought it was a good. I thought it was a good trade walking into the game because we thought Burrow, he practiced in full. We didn't know what Burrow was going to do, and now it looks like a worse trade. But Burrow and Olave for Tyreek Hill in the Marsman League, and I got Tyreek Hill. And so I turned Puka Nacua into AR5, and so I have AR5 and Tyreek Hill now instead of Burrow, Puka, and Olave.
Yeah, I'm actually seeing a lot of that. Like a kid in my league just traded Burrow and Puka for Lamar Jackson. So just to get out of the Burrow, using Puka to get there or something like that. So
yeah. All right.
Yeah, I like it, Rich. I'll try to get him.
All right, hang tight real quickly. Blind Larry, you're live.
Hey, can you just tell me how I'm 0-4 with this team real quick? You got time?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, anyways, Fields, Love, Walker, Swift, Kincaid, and Tankdale. I don't know how I could be 0-4 with
Well,
that.
do you have any other wide receivers?
Not that really are worth anything.
That might be why.
Ridley, my bad.
I mean, who are you?
I mean, I'm sorry, St. Brown.
Okay.
I didn't say that. My bad.
Yeah, you didn't give us any. You didn't give us any receivers, but Tank Dell. So I can tell you where you went wrong.
Right. St. Brown and Ridley. My bad.
Okay, those are two pretty significant names to leave out.
Okay, my bad.
I mean, I bet you lost to a lot of high scoring teams, and I think it could all come together.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, like every team I faced thus far has had somebody go off 30 to 40 points.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Like I'm getting that squad, but like I'll play one person, they don't do nothing. Then the next person, I switch them, they don't do nothing. I'm like, you know, should I keep any moves to make? I mean, what do you think?
So you have.
Because everybody else is like irrelevant that I got on my squad, you know, except for.
Yeah. The thing is,
like I got Khalil Herbert and Fields, but they go off the same time I benched them because they weren't doing anything 3 weeks prior to that. You know what I mean? So it's like I can't win for catch-22 if I don't. Then Love doesn't do what he did the week before.
Don't take us the wrong way, Blind Larry. We all need some humor. After certain things, and especially after people are, having some players get hurt or bust. So, you're bringing some levity to the conversation, but everyone's laughing because
it's crazy.
Bro read 3 players.
Every team 40.
Bro read
35 points, 40 points. Like, come on.
No, the reason people are laughing is because you're like, tell me how this team's losing. I got Swift, Walker, and Dell. And you're like, okay, well, I think probably because you don't have any receivers. Everyone's just...
No, I mean, Fields, Love, St. Brown, Ridley, K9, Swift, and then Tank Dell, and then Kincaid. But I mean, that's pretty solid, I would think, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean, look, Kincaid, like I said, all offseason long though, Kincaid is
I
really.
switched him out for Otten this last week.
That's not much of an upgrade.
He's still on my bench.
But that's not much of an upgrade. It's not even an upgrade.
I mean,
really.
He scored more points than Kincaid all year in one game.
Yeah, that's true.
Thus far.
Did you say you have Fields?
Fields and Love, yes, sir.
I mean, trade one of them. I mean, try.
I don't know what Smitty thinks, but if you're comfortable with Love, try to trade Fields out this big week and pair him with someone and
it's your only move.
Upgrade. If you're comfortable with Love,
that's your only move because look, Walker didn't have a big enough game. He could have if they didn't call that stupid, butt cheek gate where his butt did not touch the ground. As far as I'm concerned. It didn't look like it did or didn't. You just couldn't tell. Had he had that big game, you'd be able to maybe trade him off. Not saying I want to trade off Walker, but you'd have an ability to make a sell high move. Swift having a bad game doesn't help you. Ridley having a bad game doesn't help you. St. Brown, your only move is to go to that QB needy team, and if there is not a QB needy team, you gotta wait. There's no moves to make.
Yeah, because Dell didn't do anything. Another dude had Nico Collins and. Obviously, he had Dallas defense. But I had Seattle defense today. Oh, my God. It almost caught me back up, but they wouldn't give Kane the ball. I'm like, we got problems. Like, I almost caught back up with those person, not doing so well or whatever. But It's
Yeah.
like every week.
Well, like
these 4 weeks.
I got you, but all you got to do is try and make a trade with the quarterback, bro. Just go to the quarterback needy teams. And Fields had such a big.
What, another receiver?
Well, I mean, you got to look at the teams.
I mean, what would you do?
I just look at the team and see what they got, and let it guide me.
Yeah.
They got Achan, but Achan's your man. They got a player like Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith's your man. You go to the person that needs a quarterback and you say, "Hey,
not Devontae Swift. My bad." Smith.
You go to the team that has one of those guys and you see if they're, or you go to the teams that are QB needy and you sell Fields on his biggest career game he's had, like in terms of passing yards and touchdowns. He's sellable right now. Right. You can sell Fields. Somebody's gonna buy him.
Well, one thing I'll say too that I started doing a little bit last year and even more so this year that Smitty talks about a lot is don't just sit and wait on one trade or one person. Fire out like 3 or 4 or 5 trades. Make sure they're good. Make sure you're happy with them all. But put them out there and just keep putting them out there, and someone will eventually respond.
I rarely ever get
in the Marsman League. That's happening like crazy this year.
Yeah, I rarely ever get a trade done just sending one offer out. I can't tell you how many times I've looked at a team and go, let me think if I could cook up a trade today. Okay, I'm going to send this one over to Bob, and then I just walk away and I check later and it went through. The only times trades go through for me is when I sit there and I hammer down for about 30 minutes and I send 2 or 3 offers to every single owner. And on Yahoo, it limits me. It says you're over the trade offer limit. You can't send any more trade offers. I hate that. Yeah, why is Yahoo going to step on me and tell me I can't make another trade offer? But on Sleeper, I'll have about 24 offers up and ready. And then what usually happens is one gets accepted, and I honestly have no idea what trade got accepted. I'm as shocked as anybody else when I go to the transaction log. I'm like, let's see what happened. Let's see what trade went through. I pull it up. I'm like, oh my god, I offered that. I like that. Okay, that went. I like that one. Sometimes I offer something and it goes through, and I'm like, oh, like I wanted the other deals more than this one, and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have thrown this one in. Like sometimes you just got to make sure all of them feel really good. But you got to send. It's an odds game, bro. If I told you right now the odds of you executing a trade in your league based on your trading offer habits and what you usually over offer, under offer, you try and really snake oil people, and I said your percentage of a trade going through is 8%. Then if you send one trade offer, you're not making a trade. If you send 100, you have an 8% chance of a trade going. So it's all just a numbers game. All right, hang tight, Larry. Let me head over to let's see, Laundromat Jack. You're live. If everybody can mute, if you're not talking, mute for me. Go ahead, Laundry.
2 questions. First one, I think I can get Ridley for Olave straight up. Which one do you like the rest of the season?
I like them both, bro. They both have pros and cons. I know everyone thinks Ridley's garbage right now, and I don't understand it. I don't even get it, but I like Ridley a lot. Olave's probably safer in terms of like talent and being his team's number 1, but he's also got a questionable quarterback situation that was so questionable last week. Nobody was getting the football thrown to him downfield. Carr was injured, and I don't know if that's going to remedy itself in enough time to know what next week looks like. Who's on a bye next week?
Seattle, Tampa.
Who else?
Cleveland.
Let's see. Chargers. Yeah, I mean, Olave's tough. I guess at the end of the day, I trust Olave a little more. But I don't know that there's a good answer for this because this answer will fluctuate. They're both neck and neck. And I think that anybody that thinks that NFL or that Ridley's not a top maybe 12 wide receiver in fantasy football, 8 to 12, like I think they're grossly overreacting to what's been going on.
Yeah, I quietly like Ridley more. I think the Jags offense is going to keep getting better, and I am a little worried about the Saints quarterback situation.
Is this Laundromat? Who's talking right now?
Laundromat.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. You sounded different.
Oh.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I was just saying I think the Jags offense is only going to get better, and the Saints offense is kind of worrying me. That kind of goes into my second question. Would you trade Kamara for Jalen Hurts? I'm running back heavy and could use like a really bona fide
Yes.
QB.
I could get behind either one of that side. Like if you had, let's say, AR5 and Hurts and you traded one of them away for Kamara, I'm fine with it. If you had Kamara and JT and Achane and Kenneth Walker and you're like loaded, then yeah, I would take Jalen Hurts and give yourself that confident starting quarterback that can smash.
Would you rather trade JT or Kamara for Hurts?
JT or Kamara for Hurts, I would rather trade probably JT. Only because, and that could change, that could fluctuate too. Like a week and a half from now, I could be screaming JT's name to the moon. I mean, you need to understand that there's unforeseeable things that could happen. For example, everybody thinks that JT's for sure going to be, and I know he's one of my best buy low players I can recommend, but he comes with a bag full of risk, man, that you have to be okay with.
Yeah.
He could be off the PUP, but not elevated to the 53-man roster. And it could happen. It could take 2-3 weeks. They may not elevate him to the active roster, and they're trying to screw him. They feel like they're trying to screw him. At least ownership feels like they're trying to screw him, much like Deshaun Watson was, regardless of whether Watson deserved it or not. Watson was absolutely screwed over by Cleveland ownership, and they were ready to let the house burn to the ground before they were gonna appease him or help him with any sort of trade. And I'm not saying they're not going to trade JT. I think but we also have to be objective in saying how many teams need a running back right now. How many teams?
Yeah.
Some of the teams that needed running backs are off the table for needing a running back now. Kyron, Rams aren't trading for one. The Ravens are definitely interested. I'm sure the Ravens are probably the top team, but you look at like the Chargers. That would be a very interesting place for him to go. I don't know that fantasy owners would love it, and it definitely could be cloudy. But if I was the Chargers with the injury to Mike Williams and the uncertainty around everybody else staying healthy, that would be an amazing move for the Chargers, in my opinion. Get that thunder and lightning going. I don't know that they're even considering that. The Chargers don't seem like the kind of organization would even consider something crafty like that. I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know where he could go. So there's a lot of unforeseeable things there. I do love him, but Kamara's at least secure. And in his first game back, Kamara, even though Kamara was unable to run the ball effectively because it was a horrible game script and a horrible offense for the Saints. It was just tons of PPR points, but that was very encouraging for probably his worst possible game script for him to come away with. What did he have? It was an insane line. Kamara had
13 receptions, I think.
Yeah, he had scored an astronomical amount of fantasy points off of nothing. He had 21.4 fantasy points in this league I'm looking at here. 11 carries for 51 yards, which is good, 5.6 a pop, but just not volume. 14 targets for 13 receptions, 33 yards. 33 yards on 13 receptions because they couldn't throw the ball down the field because Carr was injured. So, I don't know. But then you could also say, hey, Smitty, there's an uncertainty there about them throwing the ball down the field still or running the football. But at least he got 4.6 a pop. I feel much better about Kamara right now. But JT's very, very solid as well. And you got the extra game of not being able to use him.
I feel better about Kamara than Olave just because of the quarterback situation. So I think I'm going to get Ridley. I just think he's a more talented guy, and he's in a more explosive offense at the end of the day.
It'd be crazy. It'd be crazy if JT goes to a team that already has their bye week out of the way, out of the 4 or 5 teams that have a bye week. Wouldn't that be crazy? He'd have to go to like the Chargers, for example. It would be crazy if he gets, then there's no bye week and it's just JT straight. It would be crazy. All right, hang tight, Laundry Mac. Young, you're live. Everybody else mute if you could.
Thanks, Smitty.
Hey, Smitty, what's going on, bro? How you doing?
What's up, Young?
Hey, damn, I just took a bite of a piece of chicken.
All right, here,
bro.
you finish your bite real quick while I answer these 2 super chats. It works out perfect. Non-PPR
Okay.
Pierce.
Right.
Yeah, chow down real quick. Non-PPR Pierce for Gibbs and Pickens. Or for Mixon. I don't like any of these, man. Pierce is like a confusing one because I still really like him. I just don't know what is in store for him moving forward. I don't know how confident they're going to be in him. He did have 11.8 fantasy points. He had 81 yards on 24 carries. But that 3.38 yards per carry is concerning. I'm very, very tempted to say that I'd rather have Gibbs and Pickens off on the off chance that Gibbs turns into something, because what if on the off chance Pierce starts losing work? And it ends up being in a sharing situation anyway. I guess Pierce is the safest, or Mixon's probably the safest player out of all these players. So I guess if you want safety, go Mixon. But I think if you want upside and you're going to pocket this player anyway, and I don't know what to feel about Pickens right now in his current situation with Pickett being hurt and everything. I lean toward Gibbs for pocketing the player and waiting, and Mixon if you need the now production. Julian, thanks for the super chat. And this one from Junkie. Junkie, appreciate you. $5 holler. Junkie says, does old Baltimore Indy unpleasantness preclude them working out a JT trade? I mean, I don't think so. I think, sometimes people think that, but if a team can work over a nemesis, then sometimes that can happen. But I think it's going to have to be a big price tag. I don't think it's going to be very cheap. The other thing, too, that might be unorthodox is if JT gets traded, usually a long-term deal is announced in conjunction with the trade. So the trade gets announced, JT's traded, and then literally minutes later, Adam Schefter reports out the long-term deal's a $32 million 2-year deal, whatever, 3-year deal. I don't know that we're necessarily going to hear that in this case. It might be a quick trade, and they say to him, look, we promise we'll give you a long-term deal, and JT's got to take their word on it because he has no other option, because Indy's saying they will not give him a long-term deal. And V-San says, you said, clarification, you said don't take Burrow over Stroud. Stroud was offered Burrow. I don't think you can trust Burrow right now, bro. I'm not saying to drop Burrow. I'm not saying that you won't regret not taking Burrow later. It could be a week and a half from now, and we're saying a very different thing. Burrow's back. I just don't know. But right now, it feels very, very sketchy, and I'd rather have Stroud. He's playing great. I know it feels crazy, but look at Herbert, his rookie year. Herbert was fantastic his rookie year. Very startable, very 6 to 10 fantasy football quarterback startable. I just don't think you can trust Burrow right now as much as we want to go to his name and say, it's Burrow, it's Burrow. We'll talk about Burrow in the offseason. I can tell you that the way my mind works, when a player's left a sour taste and you got this, huge letdown of disappointment, it's hard to circle back. I will admit I probably will have some hesitancy trusting Burrow, and especially Jamar Chase, because Jamar Chase he's so good. He's so capable of being better than any wide receiver in the National Football League. And Jamar Chase, by stats, was the best wide receiver last year, even over JJ. He was the best wide receiver in the NFL in points per target, and he got injured. And so going into this year, it's like, okay, things are going to be better. He's not injured right now, but now he's got something else. And it's like, if it's not one thing, it's another from holding Jamar Chase back from becoming the number one wide receiver. And I'm going to have some reservations about Burrow and JJ next year. I just can't see myself getting on board that train with a bunch of confidence. It'd have to be both of them are values beyond values, but we'll have to see. All right, let me hit back to, who was it? Young, go ahead. Are you done with your chicken sandwich, bro? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yes, I am. Hey,
okay.
I'm good. I appreciate it.
All right, go ahead.
So McLaughlin, I'm 0-4. Obviously, Michael Wilson, McLaughlin are the two guys I'm looking at the most. I am wide receiver heavy with St. Brown, Ridley, Pickens, Dotson, and Downs. But I have Barkley, Javonte, Achane, and Roshan But I just want to ask, out of like McLaughlin and Michael Wilson, who do you think do you think either of them has, like league winning potential?
So I went over this earlier. I don't know if you watched the whole waiver wire show, but I was saying that McLaughlin's more useful right now. Michael Wilson kind of has some of that like Nico Collins intrigue, but I would say he might be hit and miss because I don't know that the Cardinals offense will feed him. I mean, they might. They're playing really well. Dobbs is playing really well. But I would say league winning, no, but like very amazing wide receiver 3 production potential, sure. A lock, no. McLaughlin, he's very quick and very solid, but I don't know that I get the feel he's league winning. When it comes to league winning, it's Charbonnet, it's Bigsby, it's maybe Spears, it's still maybe Roschon, even though it doesn't feel like that right now. It's maybe it's Khalil Herbert though and Roschon together if they're out there. And keep in mind that if Khalil Herbert's out there, Roschon might get cut this week, and eventually they will both be on your team if you play it right. But and Jalen Warren even has that potential. But no, league winning, it's Spears, it's Charbonnet, it's Bigsby, it's those 3 to me. They have the league winning potential. But McLaughlin's great. He's great.
I already have Roschon on the bench right now. So basically, what you're saying is, between Wilson and McLaughlin, neither of them are like home runs, but it just comes down to what I need more right now at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, they both have, I wouldn't say home runs, but they both have very, very solid value. They're the top pickups of the week. Michael Wilson is really, really good, and if you're hurting at wide receiver 3, it could help you very much.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think since I have Javonte, and I think okay, cool. I'm gonna go McLaughlin. Right. So
all right, hang tight real quick. I'm gonna go to the Redwood next, but Redwood, hang tight. $4.99 hauler for See you later. Flipper. Have Jamar Chase, Metcalf, Nakua, Waddle, Addison, Dell. My running backs are Hall, Dalvin Cook, Travis Etienne, Ramondre Stevenson. Ugh. I bet you need to get. Let me put this caller on hold here. 559 caller. Who is this and where are you calling from?
No.
All right, Cody from Fresno. Hang tight, Cody. I'm gonna get to you next. Okay, I got Redwood before you, and then you're next. So hang tight. Cody from Fresno. Yeah, Cody from Fresno. Okay. Let's see here. This question here. You got a lot of players that man, this is tough. Jamar Chase and probably Stevenson are the 2 players I'm trying to get rid of as quick as I can. And Jamar Chase is again, you're going after one of these wide receivers over here. Ridley, Devontae Smith, Olave, Amon-Ra, Waddle, Debo, Lamb, Kupp. And depending on which one you get, you can go ask for more on this side. Get a RB like Gibbs, Swift, ETN. You can't get Swift if you're going after Lamb. You know what I'm saying? So like you gotta get reasonable about what you could get back. Could you get a Devontae Smith or Lamb with Achane? Maybe the Achane owner is absolutely in love with Achane. So I don't know. And did you have Achane? Let me see if you had Achane. You don't. Stevenson for Achane straight up. You might be able to get somebody sleeping on that and thinking they're buying, buying that man. So. Glad Smitty ain't reading the chat. Why, Mr. TD? Why are you glad I'm not reading the chat? Because I am reading the chat. I keep my eyes everywhere. I got eyes on the back of my head, bro. On the side of my head, Mr. MT. So try and trade Stevenson. Go to that buy low list. Screenshot this. Freeze frame it. This is I'm showing this at I think an hour and 29 minutes even into the show. So freeze frame this. Stevenson straight up for one of these guys. Not everybody, like Watson's going to require a little bit more with Watson, but you get my drift. Straight up for JT, obviously you're probably not going to get that. Stevenson straight up for Achane, probably won't even get that. Aaron Jones, very easy to acquire right now, my main man. Appreciate you with the super chat, Flipper. And then this last super chat. Actually I got 2 more. Hold on, and then I'm coming for the Redwood. 10-man half PPR, Achane, a league winner, rest of season at running back 2. You bet your bottom dollar, laughing. Would you sell high on Henry after this week? Absolutely. And I'd go after the names I just showed you. I'd trade straight up for a wide receiver like CeeDee Lamb. I'd go after combinations of Achane and Debo, Achane and Waddle, those types of things, and I'm doing it live. And I'm getting rid of Henry the first chance I get. And then this one from Rav. Rav says, have T-Law, Bijan, Pollard, Ridley, Evans, Walker, Pickens, Charbonnet, Algier, London, JSN, Johnston, 2-2, panicking, and he moves. Not really, because who are you going to sell high? Every single one of these players kind of crap the bed this week, and they're all pretty good. You don't have a bad team. You need these guys to bounce back. There's just no moves to be made here. You know, no one's giving you Pollard value right now. No one's going to give you Ridley value that I think really deserves. Evans, same thing. Like, who's Walker? Could I sell Walker for Aaron Jones and a wide receiver that's super undervalued? I would do that, you know, if you could do that. But that's like the only player I can imagine selling Walker high. And even he didn't have as big of a game as he should have had they not overturned that second touchdown, which would have put him over 120 yards and 2 scores. The Redwood, you're live.
Hey, what's up, Smitty?
What's up?
I was hoping you could help me set my lineup this week.
All right, I'll try. Go ahead.
Give you my team. Quarterbacks, I have Stroud, Richardson. Let's see.
Richardson, easy.
What? What's up?
Anthony Richardson, go ahead.
Yeah, wide receivers, I got JJ. Keenan Allen's on a bye. I have McLaurin, Wilson, and DJ Moore. Then running back.
All right, hold on. Let's do it one at a time because I'm not writing this down. So, Anthony Richardson's your starter, and of your wide receivers, give me the wide receivers you're debating between.
Well,
obviously you're starting.
My thing is, I'm debating who to put in that flex. Though.
All right, so give me your flex options.
My receivers.
Just give me your flex options.
Well, it's either between a running back or a receiver. My running backs are Gibbs, Swift, A-Chain, and ETN.
Okay, so you're starting
And
those. You're starting those 3.
And then my receivers are JJ. Keenan Allen's on a bye, so I don't have to worry about him. And then McLaurin, Wilson, DJ Moore.
So your decision's not. I don't think your decision is anything but who's your second receiver, because you're not benching one of those running backs. So you're probably starting DJ Moore, I imagine. I like Michael Wilson, but I'm not starting Michael Wilson over DJ Moore. DJ Moore had a nice little game.
Right, but do I start one of my receivers in the flex, or do I keep all 3 of the running backs in?
Well, what did I just say? Double down, Donnie. Redwood.
My bad, I didn't hear you.
No, I mean it's just like, you know, I went to Miss Smitty today and I did it again. I asked her, "Is this butter good?" She said, "Look at the date," and I read the date, and she said, and I still said, "Is it good?" Like I just told you, you're starting those 3 running backs. Like, who are you going?
Okay,
you're gonna sit. You're gonna no. You don't have to apologize, Redwood. I'm just messing with you.
But I'm not starting Gibbs though, right? Until further notice.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna sit Swift. I mean, are we sitting Swift after one game? I mean, he scored a touchdown, man. You know, like your 3 starting running backs were Swift, ETN, and then
A-Chain.
And A-Chain, like A-Chain. Yeah, I mean, how are you really gonna sit one of those guys for a Michael Wilson, who could outscore anybody at any given moment? Of course he could. But no, this is not even a debate. You don't need help with your flex. You don't need help with your lineup. Your lineup couldn't be easier this week. Now, could I be wrong?
I'm 4-0. I'm 4-0. I just want to.
Of course you are. But could I be wrong that Michael Wilson outscores DJ Moore? Like, sure. But like, that's your dilemma. Who's your second wide receiver to go along with JJ? With Keenan Allen out, who's your second wide receiver? That's all you're debating. All right, hang tight. Redwood, anything else before I jump to the next call? And you can hang tight if you want on this panel real quick. And don't feel bad. I'm just joking with you, kind of, sort halfway joking.
So between Stroud and Richardson, it seems like you're a lot higher on Richardson. But I mean, from what you've seen out of Stroud, you're not starting to kind of like it's not starting to kind of become close?
I mean, does anybody in the chat even consider playing Stroud over Richardson? I don't know how anybody could. I mean, Richardson is so potent, bro. Like, if he throws for a touchdown or two on top of the running, he's going to have a 50-point game. You know, like, I think you're overthinking a lot of this, man. You're 4-0. To be honest with you, Redwood, don't take this the wrong way. I'm just trying to help coach you into being the best owner you can be. You're obviously a great drafter, and I think you're a good owner. But, like, do you ever overthink yourself and just put in, like, a scrub over a starting stud? Like, what are we doing here? Like, I know Stroud's looking good, and in time, maybe we have this debate, like 2 weeks from now, maybe we start having this debate, but, like, you can't consider sitting AR5. You can't even, no way. Stroud, look, let me show.
I'm just looking at it, like, the first half he played this last week. I mean, he kind of started off slow, and then, I mean, he ended up getting it done in the end, but.
I mean, AR5 came through, and he almost had an overtime little stint that, if he was able to get back on the field, he might have scored another touchdown.
Yeah.
You got a good team. You got a good team, bro. That's why you're 4-0. I mean, let's be honest. So nice work. All right, hang tight, Redwood. You're good. Nice squad. $5 hauler here from Renee says, I have Burrow, got offered Stroud for my flowers. I would take Stroud, and I would use Stroud or stream Dobbs and keep Flowers. I would take Stroud, and I would start him. I think that's a good question though. But I definitely see Redwood's considering putting AR5 on the bench for him. So he's a good play for sure. But you can't pass up on getting that quarterback security right now with Burrow. You have to go that route. The guy says, I don't know how, but I am 4-0 and drafted JT. I do want some advice on my team and what I should do. Rosters: Lamar, JT, James Cook, Rashad White, Chase, Amon-Ra, Waddle, Godwin. Your team's really good. I do what I've been advising any Chase owner right now. First of all, I would very strongly consider trading James Cook on the high as well for like a Devontae Smith, for a Waddle and something, for a Debo and something, and you might even get more, or just straight up. Aaron Jones injured is a great player to go shop around using James Cook and Rashad White. Maybe that owner has just Aaron Jones and you could trade them both running backs. Maybe you could use Chase to get Aaron Jones and a Waddle, or Aaron Jones and a receiver. Something along those lines. Even a Christian Watson and Aaron Jones. Like anything like that. But I trade Chase and I trade potentially James Cook in the right situation. James Cook shouldn't be given away, but you know what I mean. That's what I would do with those, with that team. Honestly, if it were me. And hang tight, callers, real quickly. Let me get these out of the way. Popeye's chicken is a buy low. I like Popeyes. They're really good. Definitely better than KFC. I saw some of the bickering going on in the chat. Smitty, I'm thinking of dropping Kittle for Ferguson. I don't think I would drop Kittle, but I don't blame you for wanting to start Ferguson, but I don't think I'd drop Kittle. I feel like you could trade Kittle pretty easily. $5 hauler, I'm 4-0. I got AR5, DK, Amon-Ra, Kyron, Pollard, Kelsey, Bench, Fields, James Cook, Ford, Watson, Brees Hall. What future moves can I make? I mean, you're 4-0 for a reason. You're doing well. You're like the Redwood. You got a 4-0 team. You don't want to screw it up. Keep starting your studs each week. And honestly, if I'm changing anything or trading anybody, it's James Cook and Fields to the quarterback needy owner. It's Ford and James Cook, Ford and Fields. I'm waiting on Brees Hall, and I'm just trying to get that extra wide receiver or whatever bump, like DK into a slight wide receiver bump. And, you know, maybe you think CeeDee Lamb is that, maybe you don't. Maybe you think Ridley is that, maybe you don't. And that's okay. A.J. Brown, probably unattainable, but that was the kind of thing you could have done. Moving, maybe. Yeah, that's the only thing I'm looking to do with this team. This team is absolutely a smash. Good job. The Dark Knight says, trade Richardson and Gibbs for JT. I have Hurts and Love. I would take JT in a millisecond in that situation, even though I could see the other side needing that as well and being an okay trade for them. But with depth, go get it done. Go get JT. My team is 1-3, and I need depth. Trade Mahomes to get Devontae Smith, Jerome Ford, and Stafford. No. I think Mahomes commands more than that. I like Devontae Smith a lot, but you need to get like Devontae Smith and at least a player that I think can contribute more than Ford, who may or may not be any sort of contributor for you like 2 or 3 weeks from now. And Stafford, I mean, Stafford's playing well enough to like grab and hold, but no, that's not enough. Get more from Mahomes, especially let Mahomes have a big game. Like, think of what Josh Allen can get you in a trade right now. That's exactly what Mahomes should get you. You couldn't get Josh Allen for that. And Mahomes will be there. He'll get there. 0.5 PPR, Jackson, Cook, James Cook, Pacheco, Achane, Pierce, Javonte Williams, Chase CD, Amon-Ra. Trade Chase and Achane for Bijan and Ridley. Whew. That's arguable. Let me see if Travis, you're still here, right? And rock out. What do you two gentlemen think about this? Trade Chase and Achane for Bijan and Ridley. I gotta think that, like, even though our knee-jerk reaction might be like, go get Ridley and Bijan, like Achane.
I do Chase Achane right now.
The thing is, Chase and what is Chase gonna be? What is Chase gonna be if Burrow's out? What is Chase gonna be? I probably would take the chance on Achane and Chase too. But boy, that's a crazy one. That's a crazy trade. I like that a lot, though. That's fun to think about.
It is tough because say if Ridley had caught 2 of the touchdowns he dropped, we probably might be thinking different.
Well, okay, let me flip the script. Let me flip the script a little bit. Would you rather have Jamar Chase or Bijan if you could do the 1-for-1 and keep Achane?
I'd take Bijan.
So just to kind of give you so basically what you're saying then, if you would rather have Bijan than Chase, and you like the Chase side, you're telling me Achane crushes Ridley. Or it's just something
right now,
that's so confusing that it's like, rock out. What do you think?
I get.
Go ahead. Rock out. What do you think? Hold on, let's go to Rock out real quick. Rock out. What do you think? Chase, Achane, or Bijan Ridley?
I really like Bijan.
Bijan's side. What's the chat think? Guys, vote in the chat. What side do you like? Achane and Chase or Bijan Ridley? That's a really, really tough one.
So I guess my thought was, I think no matter what, top 10 range, even with a backup quarterback, and then Achane, things can change, but he could be a top 5 running back. Where I guess you could say the same on the same side, but there is that slight thing where Ridley and Jaguars are struggling a little, and Bijan is still not getting as many touches as he should, in my opinion.
Yeah, the chat's a little torn, but I would say it's about 70%, maybe 65%, maybe 70% Bijan Ridley. But
hey, this is the Redwood. Can I chime in on it?
Yeah, go ahead, Redwood.
I take Chase and Achane all day. I would take Chase and Achane side.
It's tough. I think it's dead even. I think it's dead even. There's pros and cons that will unfold in the coming weeks that will make one of them look a lot better than the other. Like if Bijan goes out there and starts getting a touchdown every single game moving forward, and I know everyone's going to say it's not going to happen, but this is one of the best running architected teams in the National Football League, and they're not really on their horse right now, but they will continue to run the football well. I think we're looking at a very even Steven trade here until something unfolds. Like Bijan starts scoring touchdowns, Ridley bounces back or doesn't bounce back, whatever you might think of Ridley, and if Achane stays in his role, because if Achane all of a sudden vanishes for 2 weeks straight, I can tell you right now the chat will be littered with Achane's a bust. Achane's a bust. There's no way any audience, I'm sorry guys, you know how much I love all of you, but is not going to have at least some loud people in it, a big group. I'm not saying my entire audience. I'm not saying all 681 of you, but there will be such a loud group of 20 or 30 people that will be watching, that will be saying, bust, Achane is nothing, he's absolute garbage. There's no way that 20 or 30 loudmouth group will be able to weather through a 2-game slump out of Achane. There's no way. There's no way. It's so everything could be completely flipped in a week and a half. And I'm not even saying justifiably, just saying the perception of Achane is either going to be he's a monster, he continues to do it, or people are going to flip on him so quick, and I'm going to say shame on you. To everybody that flips on Achane the moment he has a bad game, I'll be here to tell you shame on you.
The other thing too, real quick, is that I still think if they keep running Burrow out there, I don't think it's going to help him. But I think if they give him a couple games off, unless it's something way more serious that we know, I think he's going to be fine the second half of the year. At least I think there's a chance.
Yeah,
that he could be fine, and that would be huge for Chase.
Yeah, all right. Hang on 1 second, callers. Traded Pacheco for Ridley. I like Ridley more than Pacheco, but they're both very, very good. And Pacheco, who was a moon man, and I do still really like him, is starting to get into rhythm, and they're really enjoying using him. And I think they really feel they benefit from it, and that's the most important part because they'll keep feeding him. But I would take Ridley. Hey, again, Smitty, pick 2 rest of the season: Fields, Goff, Purdy, Stroud, Russell Wilson. I'm going to pick Fields and probably Stroud. But Purdy's really close. Goff's close. They're all really close. I mean, trust your gut on that. That's a really close one. And Handed with the $10 hauler. Handed, appreciate you for dropping the $10 hauler. This question here is, Smitty, I've got Hurts, Bijan, Saquon, Kyron, and Hall, Nakua, Puka Nakua, Waddle, Debo, Hawkinson. I'm 2-2. Do I trade Bijan for Lamb and Ridley? Wait, you have Ridley, don't you? I thought you had Ridley. Hurts, Waddle, Debo. No, you don't. Okay, so Bijan for Lamb and Ridley. So you get 2 players, Lamb and Ridley. If not, package Waddle and Kyron to upgrade wide receiver. Your running backs, if you trade Bijan, are Saquon and Kyron. Your wide receivers are Waddle, Debo, and Nakua. I don't know if you can. I mean, are you benching somebody or are you starting to? It depends on if you're starting all these wide receivers. If you trade Bijan for those 2 wide receivers and you got to sit Nakua, this trade doesn't help you, even though you're getting a screaming steal in some sense, getting the 2 players. I would say the best move is maybe to try and trade Saquon for one of those guys and just keep your lineup rolling. That would be my advice on that trade, but it depends. If you can start every one of those players and Nakua, and it's got like a 2 or 3 flex, like a triple flex type of thing, then maybe that move wouldn't be that crazy. So, yeah. All right, let me go over to Harvest. Harvest, you're live on the show.
Yeah, what's up, Smitty? I appreciate you taking my call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Harvest. Harvest. Do you mind? I'm sorry. I'll come right to you after. But Cody from Fresno called in a long time ago. Can I ask him what his question is? I'm sure he'll be quick, and then I'm coming right for you, Harvest. I'm sorry, bro. I just don't want Cody to hang up. All right, Cody, real quick if you can, bro.
I'm sorry, bro. I got a couple things. I'm running back needy, and I need quarterbacks, but I was just offered James Cook for Evan Ingram. I don't like it, but I have Hunter.
I'd rather James Cook. James Cook gets you more. And Cody, let me stop you there. I'll come back to you. Let me go back to Harvest real quick because I just want to get you on the books here. Harvest, go ahead. Thanks for waiting, Harvest.
Okay.
Yeah, what's a good wide receiver to pivot to? Trying to trade G. Wilson and Achane.
It sounds like you're talking in like a closet or something, bro. I can barely hear you. Say it one more time.
Yeah, what's a good what's a good wide receiver to pivot to? If I try to trade G. Will and Achane.
G. Will and Achane together?
Yes.
To be honest with you, bro, I don't think there's a wide receiver on this buy low list that I would trade Achane and Garrett Wilson for. You know, like if you were to go get JJ, which I don't think is going to happen, or Tyreek Hill, I could do that. Maybe Diggs, but past that, especially if we're talking buy low season, Lamb, Ridley, Devontae Smith, Olave, Amon-Ra St. Brown even, Waddle, Debo, Achane and Garrett Wilson are worth more. Because Achane alone could be as good. And I do believe Garrett Wilson's still got a lot of appeal, and he's a buy low candidate for me, mainly because he keeps almost scoring touchdowns and they're feeding him. They're force feeding him. And who knows what happens if Simeon gets in there or if they go after somebody, and there's a lot of talk about Aaron Rodgers and all that. But I don't know. I just think that you're giving up way too much. Achan's way too explosive to be going and getting a wide receiver that's questionable. I'm not saying I don't love these guys, but they're on here for a reason. They're slumping a little bit or something. Who's breathing on the phone? What is that? Who is that? Are you still there, bro? Harvest?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Yeah. So you need more than these guys. It's either Hill, maybe Diggs, and JJ. That's it. Like, you could gamble on Jamar Chase, I suppose, but it's a gamble, man. Achan is really, really good.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. I just didn't know the value of that, so I appreciate you.
Yeah. But come back with an offer if you got one, and we'll take care of it. You can hang tight real quick. Mute if you could, if you got another question. I don't know how much longer I'll be here. We've been here for 2 hours, but just mute real quick, guys. Your boy took 6 in weekly winners on Underdog. Really? What did you? That's awesome, bro. Congratulations. Boy took 6. Let me pull it up and see who's 6th place in the weekly winners. That's pretty impressive. I'm happy we have a person dropping loads in here on the channel. Let's see. Let me go to the weekly winners. I love weekly winners. I'm gonna focus so much on the weekly winners next year because it's just the leaderboard. Looking at it all. Number 6 was the Sinister. Sinister, is that you, bro? That's 6K. 6K. That's awesome, bro. If that's you on the weekly winner leaderboard there, that's awesome, man. Congrats. Proud of you, pal. That's great. That's fantastic. Let's see if he says 6K payout, Sinister Wicker. Yeah, man. That's awesome. That's our boy Sinister doing it live.
To the moon.
Attaboy. Nice to hear some reports of that too, because I always wonder, and I don't know who comes in and wants to tell us and all that. 2-2 Hurts, Bijan, Achan, Eckler, Gibbs, Pierce, Debo, Amari Cooper, Christian Watson, DJ Moore, Dots, and any wide receiver moves. Target AR5 and CD moving Hurts and Gibbs. Yeah, I could get behind that. That's not a bad move at all. I prefer. Yeah, no, I'd be okay with that. Like AR5 and Hurts are close enough that I'd want to get that CD Lamb type player. And if you can't do that, I mean, maybe you go. I don't know if they have a running back. I just have to hear who they have. Here's another one. Also have Kincaid feel vulnerable at tight end. Yeah, Kincaid, again, like I've said from the start, is a patient play. He's not necessarily a guy you have to roll out with right now. And if you can't hold him, I understand it, but make sure you monitor the guy. But don't just keep starting him if there are better options out there, like a Cole Kmet. That's not my opinion on the matter. That's not what I've been saying all offseason. It's that at some point he could get going and he's going to be cut in a lot of leagues. I said that all offseason long. He's going to be cut after week 1. He's going to get cut after week 2. It could take as long as 7-8 weeks, and we have no idea when Kincaid's going to get fully fed. But he's getting targets. He's involved. That's all good stuff. I think he's on the door of maybe getting some volume. Maybe he never evolves this year. It's certainly possible. That's why it's a bold prediction. But he shouldn't necessarily be anybody's starting tight end from the jump. I said that from the beginning. A lot of people came in with just Kincaid, no backup tight end. And I'm like, that's not what I said. I love him, though. I do love him, and he's going to be amazing at some point. I do believe that. Laporta's playing better, you know. Musgrave looks like he could have some better moments right now, but Kincaid will get there, and Josh Allen's throwing him the football. So, especially if like Gabe Davis went down or something like that, it would be even more so. This team, I really like it. I think you're really stacked across the board. I could sit on it and not have a problem. Amari Cooper, and let's see here. Yeah, I don't think you even need to make a trade necessarily, bro. Gibbs and Cooper for one bigger wide receiver. If you wanted to do that, you know, just go shopping there. That's really it. That's the only thing I'd be even like itching at. All right, guys, I'm gonna get everybody off the phone line by doing the 30-second phone calls. Let's start off with Cody from Fresno. Then I'm gonna go to Andres, and then I'm gonna go to Arthur from Texas. So Cody, you have 30 seconds, pal. Hit me with it.
First off, how do you feel about Evan Ingram for James Cook? I need running backs.
You already asked me this, didn't you? Or that maybe that
you
was.
didn't answer.
For James Cook? Harvest might have asked me that.
I know James Cook was brought up a lot, and it seems like you're kind of down on James Cook.
Is this Harvest? Is this Harvest? Is this Harvest talking?
No, this is Cody from Fresno.
Okay, because Harvest
kind of put me on hold.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Hey, Harvest, was that not your question?
No, you cut out when you answered him, I think. When you answered him before, you cut out.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I did answer that. I did answer that question, so that's why it confused me. I'd rather have James.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, I'd rather have James Cook. James Cook has more trade value than Evan Ingram, in my opinion. It's not a bad idea, but you need to get more.
So I have Henry as a backup, and I also need quarterbacks. He has C.J. Stroud. So do I just go Ingram for C.J. Stroud and James Cook, or do I package someone else for him?
Ingram for C.J. Stroud.
And James Cook.
I'd rather have James Cook over Ingram straight up. So that to answer that. Mm-hmm. But if you're telling me that there's another player involved, explain that to me, that part. C.J. Stroud and who? Who are you getting?
No, he has C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
And I need, I'd like C.J. Stroud. So do I counteroffer with a package deal? And I was wondering who should I package with Evan Ingram to get Stroud and Cook.
Okay. I got you. Yeah, I don't know what the value is on Stroud right now in a trade, man. I mean, I think people that have
Fields. I have Fields and Daniel Jones, and I'm ready to drop Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I don't know. No one's taking him.
Well, yeah.
I think Stroud and Cook have. I think Cook has more value than Stroud. I think Ingram doesn't have a ton of trade value whatsoever. He doesn't have a ton of value. He has good value, but he's not trade value. I don't think very many people are going to go trade for Ingram. I don't think what you're saying here makes sense as far as a trade happening between these three guys. I just have to know more details. But I'd say, if you've got Fields, I mean, you could just roll with Fields unless this is your super flex or something. I like Stroud, but I don't know that I'm going to go out of my way to deplete another starting position or whatever. But if you're giving away a bench player for James Cook, I do that. You don't have James Cook. The other guy's James Cook, right?
The other guy has James Cook.
Yeah.
I need running backs because I have Eckler, Dameon Pierce,
So-
Josh Kelly, and Ezekiel Elliott.
So try the Ingram for James Cook. Try that, but I don't think you're getting Stroud with it. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think you're getting James Cook.
CeeDee Lamb, Olave, Thielen, Amari Cooper, and Tyler Lockett. Could I package one of those with Ingram to get C.J. Stroud and James Cook?
Read him again, and this is the last one. I got to move on. Read him again.
CeeDee Lamb, Olave, Adam Thielen, Amari Cooper, and Tyler Lockett.
Lockett and Ingram. I'm trying to think of what would be doable. Lockett and Ingram for Cook and Stroud. I mean, that seems reasonable. Would I do Thielen? I mean, would I do Thielen? Yeah, but I don't know that he will. Try it. I'd throw Thielen in, to be honest, but he may do it. But yeah, that seems feasible. I'd do that. And James Cook's got good trade value. I don't know if James Cook's value holds, but I certainly take it.
Or if not, just do the straight up. Ingram has been real popular. A lot of people have been asking for him, but I like him. He's been solid for me.
Yeah, he's really good. I like Ingram, but would I take James Cook straight up? Absolutely. Because the running backs are decimated, man. All right, bro. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Smitty.
All right. Now I got to stick firmly to the 30-second thing. So, Harvest, you got 30 seconds. Go.
Yeah, I threw some quick trades out there. I did Christian Watson and Gibbs for Ridley. I did the Diggs trade. Christian Watson and Davon A-Chain for Ridley. So I just kind of threw stuff out there.
You know what? I almost like Christian Watson and A-Chain better, bro. I don't think I'd pull that one back. Don't do that. That's not a knock on Ridley. It's just I like Christian Watson a lot, and A-Chan is straight up for Ridley's even. You know, A-Chan's that good right now. So pull that one back, bro.
Yeah, man, I just got all these guys, man, and I'm just trying to consolidate. But
Yeah.
I appreciate you letting me know the value, though.
All right, man. All right, Harvest. Appreciate you later. All right, Brofist Brad dropping a $20 holler. Brofist Brad, let me answer this guy.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Brofist, appreciate you, my main man, coming in strong with this $20 holler. And he says, Smitty to the moon. I'm 1-3. 10-man league, 3 wide receivers, 2 flex, half PPR. Team is Fields, Love, Saquon, Walker, Charbonnet, Gibbs, Achane. Boom. Warren, Roschon, AJB. Boom. Adams, Watson, Kincaid. It's good team. Saquon, I'm trying to move. I'm still trying to move Saquon. Upgrade into Jalen Hurts if you can. That's a good move, I think. Devontae Adams, I like selling high if you can. Not that I don't think he can continue to do well, but I do worry about the volatility there. And I like him the way he's playing, and I'm not saying give him away. But players I maybe use try to go get using Saquon. I mean, the fact that you got Walker, Achane, I mean, you could technically try and use Saquon just to upgrade at quarterback and get like another piece thrown in. I wish the player I'd use would be like a Christian Watson example, but like if you trade Saquon for and Love or Saquon and Fields to get like a Mahomes right now who's struggling to his owner, and you got like a Christian Watson thrown in like a undervalued player that the guy just doesn't really value right now. I know you've got him already, but something like that, I would trade Saquon and Fields for Mahomes and something in a millisecond to shore up your QB situation. And I feel very, very good about Gibbs being in the wings waiting, and Achane and Walker's a bold, like ballsy move. But it really depends on who you get back with Mahomes. You want to get something significant back. Otherwise, I'm trading Saquon straight across for a wide receiver because I think you probably get more value. And then maybe you're trying to move Adams or something later for an RB and try and go that route. Saquon's hard to sell. I've tried to help a lot of people sell Saquon, and it's so hard. Part of it was because he was going to be out this week. So maybe, and now that the game's over, tonight's Monday Night Football game or last night's, but it depends on what time you're watching this. Maybe now that that's in the rear view, maybe Barkley's easier to trade. So maybe you do explore some Aaron Jones moves. Aaron Jones being banged up, I think that could be a good move. You have Achane already. He would be a suggestion. The buy low list is right here. So, even if it was a JT using Barkley, I love that. Straight across for maybe some of these guys like Lamb. Cup and something for Saquon would be interesting. All things that I would consider, Brofist. Appreciate you dropping the super chat. Let me get these 2 super chats out of the way, and then I'll go back and do the 30-second phone line until we clear it out. $10 holler from my boy Heat.
The moon.
Heat, appreciate you bringing the heat. Smitty, I'm 1-3, hurting in a full PPR small bench league with 3 wide receivers and a flex. My team is Mahomes, Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, and Judy. That is some weak wide receiver action in that format, though. But I mean, you thought Garrett Wilson was going to explode. We all did, so it's not your fault. But, I mean, right now, the current state of things, DJ Moore popped off and looked great, though. Tank is solid, but could be inconsistent. Bijan, Sanders, I don't like Sanders. I'm trying to trade Sanders away. Maybe Sanders and Judy Sanders and Tank Sanders and Garrett Wilson and just go get a big name player as big as I can get from JT to... I'd love to see you get Eckler somehow using Garrett Wilson, and I just don't think you have enough firepower for it without having to trade Bijan. And I don't trade Bijan if I'm you because I don't know that you're going to get enough for him. So your best move, I mean, it is a very thin team. I don't even know how you're going to be honest with you, come back unless you trade like Love to some QB needy team for Devontae Smith. If you pull something like that off, or a Achane using Love and Sanders or something like that, go to the QB needy team and do your best, because to be honest with you, that's probably the only way back for that team. I hate to say it like that, but it's too thin. You don't have anything to work with. You have to find the QB needy team and get them to buy in that Love's got a pace of 42 total touchdowns right now. I want D. Adams from the Burrow owner. Love CD. Is your quarterbacks Love, CD, Ridley, Bijan, Pollard, Walker. So you want Adams from the Burrow owner. So it looks like you're trading Fields maybe, right? Or Love, one of the two. So you're going to probably try and couple in. Gabe Davis has been playing well. I don't know if that gets that done, obviously. Stroud's been playing well. You could trade Stroud. I don't think I'm trading CD. I think CD and Adams are probably very close. If you don't believe in Ridley, I could see you giving up the quarterback and Ridley to get Adams, but I honestly believe Ridley could be as good as Adams. I know everybody's feeling differently on Ridley right now across the board, and there's a lot of different feelings going on, but those are really the only moves you can make, bro, for Adams. I don't think he's going to give you, if you give him his choice of quarterback like Fields, who popped off, and Gabe Davis for Adams, and he takes it, you're going to take that straight to the bank. But if he doesn't do something crazy and sell ultra low, you've got to trade one of the wide receivers straight up for him. And I don't know that Adams will be crazy better than Ridley or Ridley be a lot better than Adams. It just depends on how you feel about that Raiders situation. I trust T-Law more than I trust the Raiders quarterback situation. I know everybody's like off T-Law right now, but I still believe in the Law Dog to a certain degree. Would you trade Henry for Kyren Williams, Zach Ertz, and Terry McLaurin? Probably, but I want more. I feel like the nostalgia of Derrick Henry should get you more with Kyren, but Kyren's the right avenue to go down. I just think I tweak it a little bit. I don't know if McLaurin's a guy I want. Maybe there's somebody else on the roster, like Christian Watson or somebody I like a little better. Hey, Smitty, 2-2. What moves can I make? QB Stroud and Burrow, running back Eckler, JT Swift, Madison, Roshan, Evans, Ridley, Wilson. Probably say that if this is my team, I'm hanging tough unless I'm selling. Yeah, I don't think there's a move to be made here. If that's Garrett Wilson, maybe Garrett Wilson and Madison for one slight wide receiver upgrade like Devontae Smith or Debo or something like that. Past that, you have to wait, young man, because that team is about to do some good things, and I think waiting is the smartest thing for you. All right, back to 30-second phone calls. Jerry, you got 30 seconds. You better get it all out because I'm hanging up on you at 30, and I'm going to answer you off air, or for you off air, and I'm just going to do my best based on what you say. So 30 seconds, go.
All right, I'm a 4-0 in my Dynasty League, but I have Bijan and Gibbs. Is it worth trying to trade Gibbs for anything, or just wait?
I like Gibbs in Dynasty. I think people are going to be too panicked on him, but across position trades usually do really well with that in Dynasty, trading the RB away. So it just depends on what you get. You know, if you get a Devontae...
Would you do it?
For who?
For Eckler?
I mean, if you could win a bunch of cash money, bro, then maybe I would do that, but it'd have to be a serious amount of money because Gibbs is worth way more than Eckler in Dynasty.
So.
You what?
It's a $100 league and I'm 4-0, so...
I mean, I don't know. It's a risk worth taking, but I guess if you think you can win it all, but you're still giving up on a big Dynasty player. All right, thank you, Jerry. This is Jerry, right?
All right, appreciate it.
Yeah, later. Laundromat Jack, you got 30 seconds, pal.
All right, I got two Jonathan Taylor trades. I can either trade him straight up for Jalen Hurts, or I can trade Jonathan Taylor and Kamara for Bijan and Gibbs. It's important to note I got Tony Pollard as well, and I have Jordan Love as well.
Who's your quarterback? Jordan Love?
I have Love and T-Law.
This is tough, bro, because T-Law, thank you, Laundry. Listen to the answer offline here. I feel like JT is going to have a good, resurgence here for everybody that has held him, but Hurts is a nice quarterback to get. And if you feel like looking at your team versus the other teams, I can't do that for you. If you feel like you can win with this quarterback security, I don't mind it at all. I think Jalen Hurts scores an ungodly amount of points going forward, but you got to ask yourself, is Jordan Love and JT, based on your depth, going to be better for you? Because Jordan Love is scoring well. He's, again, on pace for over 40 total touchdowns. But I do like the idea of Hurts. That is a fantastic addition. James Arthur from Texas, you got 30 seconds. Go.
Hey, Smitty. I traded a bunch of players last week, and I got some buys coming up this week. So I need to pick up a waiver wire guy to start in my flex. It's a deep league, so I'm kind of looking at either Michael Wilson or that Denver running back. I don't really know the situation in Denver, if how long this guy is going to be getting touches for. So I'd like some input, please.
McLaughlin, yeah, I mean, I don't know. We don't know. We have no clue. He looked really good. He looked elusive. I think that you probably will get some work and run out of him. There's a chance that Javonte, who they say could be not even missing time, could end up turning out they're going to sit him for a week, because they're worried about his ACL recovery on top of that or whatever the excuse might be to get McLaughlin in there to try him out. But he is a smaller guy. He's not like the biggest guy in the world, but it doesn't matter. It's just, you wonder if he's workhorse material. I don't know. I would say it's worth a shot, though. I like him, especially on a bye week. I do think he... So the ultimate question was what? Like, how much fab, or what was the question about picking him up, McLaughlin?
Not really fab, but which one would you prefer rolling into week 5?
McLaughlin or who?
Or
McLaughlin or Wilson as a flex? I guess Michael will...
It's a half PPR.
I guess Michael Wilson. Yeah, Michael Wilson. But it's close, bro. Right. I mean, McLaughlin could be a really nice play, but I think Michael Wilson's pretty solid. But trust your gut on that, and follow throughout the week. I mean, I know you may already made this move or whatever, but you could always grab both of them depending on what kind of wiggle room you have in your.
Do that.
And then we just decide later. All right, James, appreciate you. Let's go to Andres. You got 30 seconds.
What's up, Smitty? I was hoping for the whiteboard, but maybe I'll ask you this question. Yeah. I got somebody that wants Tony Pollard from my team. He's stacked at wide receiver. He needs RB, but he wants to give me Olave and Gibbs for Pollard, and that's kind of why I was hoping for the whiteboard, because I have the whole team. I have Garrett Wilson, Calvin Ridley. But my running backs are Tony Pollard, Breece Hall. I got Atchan, and was Pacheco.
Olave and Gibbs for Pollard. Rockout and Travis, what do you guys think on that one? We can't really go into the whole depth because I got to go soon. But like in general, just generally speaking,
yeah, no worries.
Are we feeling like Olave is close enough to Pollard, especially with the bad game that Pollard had? And I know that shouldn't influence everybody too much, but are we thinking give me the Gibbs and Olave and let's roll the dice that Gibbs is?
Because here's the honestly, he wants.
Hold on. Let's let
Travis give me Ayuk instead of Olave.
No,
and he's not folding on. No.
So why are we talking about it then?
What's up?
Why are we talking about it then? If he's not going to do the Olave trade, you're asking me if he
that is an option. It is an option, but I want to know. That's why I was kind of hoping for whiteboard. But he's stacked a wide receiver. He has Kupp, Olave, Tyreek Hill, and by Ayuk. He's not folding on Kupp. He doesn't want to give me Kupp at all for Pollard. But he's okay with Ayuk or Olave. So I haven't pulled the trigger because I don't know what side is. I like Pollard. He needs RB. I have plenty of RBs. I feel like with Breece Hall, Pacheco, heating up, and then Atchan. So I kind of want to keep Pollard, but I'm just So I'll let you answer.
All right, go ahead, Travis.
If I would say if Olave is going to help your wide receivers that much, I'd probably do it. If I'm all set at wide receiver, I just probably stick with Pollard because he's producing. But that's
so
just me.
My wide receivers are Garrett Wilson, Calvin Ridley, and Christian Watson.
There's a good receiver. So you got to put one of those guys on the bench. I don't know. I just roll with Pollard. I mean, not that Garrett Wilson's not, a dilemma for you or whatever. It's just like Pollard's the better player.
Either that or try to flip him, another one of the wide receivers and upgrade something in the deal if you can. But I don't know. Like you said, he might be stubborn. But
or just make him pay for. Make him pay for Cup, I guess.
I'm trying for Cup. He doesn't. He literally said none of the guys, none of the wide receivers I have would start on his team. So I'm like, I want Pollard for Cup, and I'll take Gibbs, but I'm not. I'll even take Cup kind of straight up. Like I'll take the risk on that. But he's not folding, so yeah.
Yeah.
Just hold out then. If he gets desperate, I'll come back.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
all right. Hey, got to go, Andres. Appreciate you, pal. Later.
Thank you. Appreciate
all right.
y'all.
Yeah, Draven, you got 30 seconds. I'm being strict with this. I'm hanging up, Draven. After 30 seconds, I'm hanging up. You better get it out. Go.
I got you. Smitty, I can't win the game, man. I cannot win a game. The only hope I have is JT and Cup. Can you please tell me something good about them? Are they coming back or what?
Well, Cup is both of them are enigmas. But I have no certainty to offer you on either player. You have probably the two most questionable in maybe good and bad ways players that are out there. We don't know if JT could not get activated to the active roster, and they could wait 2 or 3 weeks. They have the ability to do that. Cup is 30 years old, might come back. But I will say, if I'm 0-4 or I'm 1-3, there's very few players I'd rather have than Cup and JT coming out of the smoke and saying, let's just put it into drive and let's just press the pedal to the metal and see what happens. So look at it as a fun little experiment, okay? And don't get all upset about it. Just sit back and watch, see what happens, bro. Put it on autopilot. It's autopilot mode. All right, I appreciate you, Draven.
All right, I'll call you back next week and let you know if I win.
Keep your chin up. And JT's not back yet, so Cup's not back yet.
Thank you, Smitty.
Cup's not back yet, so so don't call next week. Call in the week after. Poor guy. He's just gonna put him in the lineup. All right, Travis. Final thoughts.
Yeah. Do you how do you compare DK Metcalf to Christian Watson?
DK Metcalf to Christian Watson. I'd probably say DK safer. Christian Watson's riskier but high upside. And I do hope that Cup and just real quickly for the chat, I do hope Cup and JT are both ready to rumble right away. I'm just saying they're not guaranteed. You can't just stick them in your lineup and go to the get on a plane and head over to Hawaii and check your lineup the next week. Like, we do have to figure out what's going on. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. And I was just going to say, when I was talking earlier about maybe trading like ETN and something to get A-Rich, if I was to put DK in that deal and I got Watson back, would that be like a okay trade-off if I had to do that to upgrade to A-Rich?
Say the trade?
So basically, I'd give up ETN, DK, Lawrence, and I don't know, a bench player or something for A-Rich, Swift, and Christian Watson.
Yeah. ETN and DK for A-Rich, Swift, and Christian Watson. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, and I'd probably throw T-Law back in the deal or something. I have Love as well.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. That's a good one. AR dropping to 20. I'm going to get to that 1 second, AR. All right, appreciate you, Travis. Thanks for moderating. We'll see you later, pal. Rock out. Final thoughts. Later. Hello? Final thoughts, Rock out.
Yeah. This might be risky, but would you trade Olave for Kamara? And then I would move you as my number 2 receiver, or Terry.
Sure, I could get behind either side of that. I love Olave. I'm not running from Olave. People are crazy for that. But is Kamara, now that he's back and proven the first game to be very, very awesome, awesome especially given that he scored so many points when it was like not even like a good game for him, and he still did it. I'm pretty excited. I think Kamara, like if you're drafting today, you could argue them in the same exact place in a draft. So I'm okay with that. And Ayuk's pretty solid.
Yeah.
All right, rock out. Appreciate you, man.
Okay.
Mars man, rock out. Later, pal. AR with a $20 holler. Let's go. Let's go, AR. Appreciate you very much, my man.
Alert. Super chat alert.
AR coming in strong. What was that? What screen was I on? I think it was on the phone call screen. There it is. Thanks always for the excellent quality content, Smitty. Mad respect. Should I trade Hawkinson? Thank you, AR. Hawkinson and Rashad White for Jacobs and Ferguson. Or Hawkinson. Well, first of all, Hawkinson. Should I trade Hawkinson and Rashad for Jacobs and Ferguson? Oh, or Hawkinson, Hollywood for Rashad White. Wait, Hollywood, Hawkinson, Rashad White for Henry and Ayuk. I assume that's Derrick Henry? Or is that Hunter Henry? It's probably Hunter Henry. Should I trade Hawkinson and Rashad White for Jacobs and Ferguson? Or Hawkinson and Hollywood for Rashad White for Hunter Henry and Ayuk? I think it's Hunter Henry. I'd probably rather take Ferguson and Jacobs. No. The thing is, like, I don't want Jacobs. I just want to trade him. But I don't know if I can trade him. So I'm going to probably hold Hawkinson and Rashad White, I think. But that's really close. It's really, really close. Chase with his first ever super chat. To the moon, Chase. I'm coming for you. Hang tight. Thank you for the $10 holler, Chase. I don't know, man. This is a tough one. I guess if you think you could trade, like, if you like Jacobs, then do it. But if you think you could flip Jacobs, that's more about what I'm interested in, I think, is flipping Josh Jacobs. But Henry and Ayuk is interesting, too. So Hawkinson and Rashad for Ayuk and Hunter Henry. What does the chat think on this one? Can we get a chat vote on this? It's a little confusing, but it's Hawkinson and Rashad White for Jacobs and Fergie, or Hawkinson and Hollywood for Rashad White for Hunter Henry and Ayuk. I think it's Hunter Henry. AR, can you clarify if that's Hunter Henry? I just want to make sure it's not Derrick Henry. Is it Derrick Henry? Did he say Derrick Henry? AR, Derrick Henry. Okay, you said Derrick Henry. Okay, then I'm taking Derrick Henry and Ayuk. And then I try and flip Derrick Henry, though. Absolutely. The value's there to try and... I mean, even if you ride it out for another week and just hope he doesn't get hurt or something, I would take Derrick Henry in a millisecond just to trade him. Just to trade him. Thank you, Dim. I appreciate you for clarifying that. And thank you for your $20 holler, my main man. Ayuk and Henry's a load for that. And then you got to try and actively trade Derrick Henry. He's pretty tradable coming off of that monster performance. Thank you. Loso says starters are AR5, Bijan, and Robinson, Tyreek. Okay, hold on. Spiffy, you have 30 seconds, pal. I'm already way behind on these supers, and I can only do it. I've already closed the phone line, but I opened it for you. You got 30 seconds. Go.
Appreciate it, Smitty. Yeah, so out of these guys, who would you say is the most droppable? Zaya Pacheco, JSN, Charbonnet, Roshan, or Jordan Love?
JSN.
Or Garrett Wilson?
JSN. You're not dropping Garrett Wilson.
JSN?
Yeah, JSN. I mean,
Is
look.
JSN droppable, actually?
Well, right now, I mean, no. But you asked me of these guys, and he's the worst guy. But do I think you need to watch him like a hawk? Yes. But he's the worst player you named. I mean, you could say Roshan, but I think I'd rather keep the RB. And I still believe in Roshan. I think his time could come, and maybe everybody gives up on him, and then it's week 7 and he goes off. All right, appreciate you, Spiffy. JSN he's not doing anything yet. They don't throw enough either, So right now you just got to let him go, but monitor him, keep an eyeball on him. All right, later.
Will do.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right, Spiffy. Starters, AR-15, Bijan, Robinson, Tyreek Hill, Debo. It's a great team. Olave, Godwin, London, Bigsby. That's a great squad. And then here, the requested T. Hill and Godwin, I will receive Ridley and Kelsey. Tyreek Hill and Chris Godwin, you will receive Calvin Ridley and Kelsey. That's a tough one. I mean, Kelsey's not playing well right now, and I don't know if it's. I'm the only one that seems to be saying it. I think this Swift stuff is a distraction. This Taylor Swift stuff. I don't know. I mean, it's the downfall of Ben Affleck when he started dating J-Lo out in public, and everybody started just focusing on J-Lo and everything. He was Mrs. Lopez. It was Ben Lopez. It wasn't Ben Affleck anymore. It's Ben Lopez. Now it's Taylor Swift. It's Travis Swift. It's Travis Swift. You know, everybody's talking about it. It's like I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe it's not going to be a big deal, but it's worrying me a little bit. It's like, you know, maybe they need to break up for just the season, and then you come back revisit this once you retire, Kelsey. Like, what are we doing? It's Travis Swift. They might as well put Swift on the back of his jersey. It's overtaking everything. I mean, it's a distraction up the wazoo. But I would probably say do I want Travis Swift and Ridley? Travis Swift and Ridley for Tyreek Hill and guys, what do we want here? Do we want Tyreek Hill still? Or are we taking the chance that I don't believe Ridley's falling off the face of the earth like everybody else? And do we take this tight end advantage in Travis Swift and try and see if, you know, you bank on this Ridley in Kelsey upside, this Travis Swift upside? Anthony Richardson is a beast. He is so far, bro. What are we doing here? Are we taking Kelsey and Ridley, or are we taking Hill? We got a Tyreek vote. Watson is about to have the same as Metcalf. I'd rather have Hill, says Chris. I guess, Loso, it does depend on like what you have, you know, to go into the lineup. But the majority of the chat's saying keep Hill. I like Kelsey and Ridley a lot, but Tyreek Hill is going to keep continuing to score well. I kind of agree with the chat in some ways, and I just don't know what's going on with Travis Kelsey. I don't know. It feels a little weird. I know KC had problems all on their own, and that just kind of trickled into it. But should I trade Chase for Diggs straight up? Absolutely, bro, without a hesitation. The way that Chase's situation is not looking very good. Smitty, love the content. $10 hauler, need some help with this one. My team. Thank you, Chase, for the first time ever super chat. That's why I sent you to the moon. The moon earlier, my guy. Let me pull this over here. Chase, my main man, Chase. I don't think either side's bad. I think you could go Ridley and Kelsey and you'd be okay. But Tua, Fields, Hill, Amon-Ra, Watson, Palmer, CMC, Hall, Pacheco, White, Ford, Hawkinson. I want to trade some running backs for a wide receiver. So I don't know. I mean, your best sell high right now, it's not Gibbs or Hall. You know, and I don't want you to really trade in CMC is Pacheco, you know, but what do? Then you're starting Hall or Gibbs. Your receivers are fine. You've got Tua, that's great. You got Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra, and Watson. You don't need, I'm telling you, this is my advice, Chase. You know, you're asking me for my advice and you want me to cook up something. I don't think you make a move. I think you start Tua. You don't second guess Tua over Fields. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. And then it's Amon-Ra, Watson, Tyreek Hill to the moon. Your wide receivers are fine. CMC and Pacheco are balling. Hawkinson. I think touching this team is a bad thing. I don't think you should do anything, bro. I appreciate your super chat, but that's just my honest opinion. I don't think there's a move to make there. Unless you're trading CMC and you're getting the world, and we're talking about like you're getting Travis, a.k.a. Swift Kelsey, and some sort of other magnificent piece like Diggs or something. I don't know how you make that trade. You know, or an Achane and a Tyreek Hill for Christian McCaffrey, and maybe even get an extra something in that. Like, there's just no reason to make the move. Your team looks good. Stan, XDS, I'm sorry, appreciate you. Standard tight end premium, I think, TD premium. 3-1, Josh Allen, AR5. Is this a super flex though? I don't see super flex anywhere. You got a trade to make, young man. You got to trade one of these quarterbacks away. Bijan, Etienne, Kamara, fantastic RBs, man. Trust in Etienne. Don't sell them low. CD, don't sell them low. Olave, don't sell them low. Debo, don't sell them low. Godwin, Henry is on his only good waiver tight end option. Jahan, Hollywood Brown, Javonte on waivers. I'll pick up Henry if I were you, and I'd drop Chigakonkwo. Easy question. I hate to say that about Chigakonkwo, and maybe he rebounds at some point, maybe next year, maybe later in the year, but right now he's waiver wire fodder. And Henry should be owned. That's an easy question. Your team's good. Let it ride. I don't care how bad some of those guys have been playing. That is a fantastic squad, my guy. Absolute fantastic team. And the only move for you to make is to trade one of the quarterbacks if it's a 1 QB team. And I don't even know if you can start another wide receiver on top of CD, Olave, Debo, and then start, if you're starting Bijan, Etienne, and Kamara, maybe you can't. Maybe the only thing you can do is upgrade into a Tyreek Hill using CD and one of the quarterbacks or something like that. Like, that's the only maybe move you can make is upgrade something massively. And I'm talking to like top 2 at the position using the quarterback from the QB needy team. Otherwise, you sit tight and you wait for injuries and you trade them later. Hey, Smitty, just got an offer this trade to get Kelsey, DK, and Gibbs for Olave, Achane, and Nico. Kelsey, DK, and Gibbs for Olave, Achane, Nico. That's really close, bro. I guess I lean Kelsey side. I do. But I wish you could take Achane out. Take Achane out some way, bro. Some way. Can't you do it? Can't you take him out? Find a way. Take Gibbs out. Take Achane out. And try and keep Achane. Maybe he thinks Gibbs is better. I don't know. I have CMC, Kyron. Your team's great. Higgins, Waddle. I like this trade. I do really like it, but I'm definitely not liking the idea of getting rid of Achane. I just hate the idea of that. That just makes me sick to my stomach. But in general, it's a good one. Appreciate you all. Subscribe if you're new. I'm out of here for tonight. I'm live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I will see you tomorrow. I'm live whenever breaking news occurs, big breaking news. So if big breaking news occurs tomorrow, I'll be live. Otherwise, I'll see you through some other upload or video I'll do during the day. And then I'll see you at 8 p.m. See you all later. Appreciate you. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the thumb up button on the way out the door. Appreciate all my $20 haulers tonight. My $20 haulers tonight include AR dropping a 20 wad. Brofist Brad coming in strong with the $20 hauler. Appreciate you, Brofist Brad. I also had a $20 hauler from Ramos. Ramos, you're a monster. Thank you so much, my guy. I think I had another one from David Klein and Charles H. And I think David C. Appreciate you all. I'll see you all on the flip side tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern. Always live when big news breaks. Peace out. Appreciate you all. Deuces.
Kenneth Skywalker. Kenneth Lightsaber Swinging Skywalker.
And real quickly, if I missed anybody's super chat, please comment in the comments below. I will get to you. And anybody that has the $2.99 exclusive membership, if you upgrade it to the $12 one, you get priority YouTube comment replies. So know that. Appreciate you all.